All right, here we go. Now we're live. Let's go. Beautiful. Okay. All right, so we're live on YouTube as well. Leave this on the side. All right, good morning, guys. Good morning. Thanks for joining, guys. Check out who's in the stream here. Oops, you guys still hear me? Mic check. Okay, perfect. All right, JKC Project, thank you for joining. Trading Dad, what's up, brother? Good morning. What's up, Noble? Wahoo Joe, what's going on? Good morning. Labeem, what's up? NML, good morning. Rojo Gojo, what's up? Tanasi, what's going on, guys? Here, thanks for joining. All right, guys, interesting morning we got here. Man, we got some nasty downside. You know, if you played anything to the downside literally in the last 2 days, you probably made some money. If you have not traded anything to the downside in the last 2 days, you need to kind of reconvene and see why you didn't. Because the signs have been pretty clear that the market is weak. And there were many chances to go short on different types of stocks and with options trading, especially, of course. Below 550 SPY was kind of doomed. I honestly did not expect it to gap down this much today. So far, I'm getting a nice bounce from the absolute lows. I cannot believe we went down to 515. Let me see, what's the low on the day here? The range is going to be pretty wild today. So I'd be very interested to see if some actual buying starts to set in here today. It's getting pretty extended all of a sudden. But let's see, let's zoom out. And man, we're right at the 333, this blue line right here. This is the 333 SMA on the daily chart, which is 541. So we broke below that already. I mean, we're well below that actually now. So yeah, we're trading under some dangerous waters. Here's the 24-hour chart because this daily candle hasn't opened yet, but we're well below that. So we just lost that. Not a good sign, guys. Not a good sign. Let's see what's next. Support here. Got something there. We got something over here. 510 could be next. Could see that. 510 probably good dip buy. I mean, oof, we'll see what happens. But the important thing is, guys. Oh, sorry, no screen shares. My bad. Forgot I had to reshare. My bad, guys. The live stream stage is a little different than the other one, the other channel. My bad, guys. All right, see my screen now? So this is the 24-hour chart on SPY. I was just pointing out the fact that we lost the 333 SMA on the 24-hour chart here, which was, looks like, what, 541. We're well below that now after a basically 2-day gap down, or put it maybe a more like a 3-day gap down. Actually, this was nasty. It looked like we were gonna finally like break out around 560, and then we just totally just got slapped all the way down on big volume too yesterday. So with that said, you know, this could be the beginning of a bigger downturn. And we got some kind of support here at 510 on the SPY. And maybe what, basically that 500 level is going to be a huge psych level. You know, might bring in some big buying. But we'll see. Today could bring some big buying. I mean, this is a huge move. Let me see. Just curious. In 3 days, we went from 570, 10%, almost a 10% correction in 3 days, which is insane for the index. And let's see, from all-time highs, looking at all-time highs are pretty much over here. I can't believe all-time highs was less than a month ago, guys. 15%. So we're still not there yet. We still need to get down to, I think somebody pointed it out the other day, or yesterday, last night I was reading, somebody said it. Yep, around 489, 490. That would be bear market territory. Officially bear market territory. It's crazy that we just hit all-time highs, and now it's less, you know, maybe what, 2 months, not even 2 months later, we're pretty much into correction territory, and almost a bear market. So if we lose 490 on SPY, 4,900 on SPX, just about, we're looking at a pretty ugly downside, guys. But we'll see what happens. What's up, Sal? Good morning. Good morning, Veronica. What's up? Good morning. Good morning. What's up, Mike? What's going on? Irregular. Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for joining, guys. Thanks for joining. All right, guys. So let me get started. It's 9 o'clock now. Basically, beginning of the stream, I usually talk about, you know, what you should be looking at on the Discord, and how the app compares to what you currently are seeing. Oh, I got some stuff open. Hold on a second. I gotta save some of this stuff. Bear with me, guys. 1 second. Let me pull up the app. And by the way, any questions, feel free to ask, guys. Any questions along the way. If you have any questions about XTrades, or what we offer, or where you should be looking, or anything related to the market, feel free to ask, guys. By the time the market opens, we'll be looking at some trade opportunities and see what we can find out there. But I'll talk about the app. I'll talk about the Discord and what channels you guys should be paying attention to the most. And some of the new features that we've added as well. So I'll be messing with that live, and we'll see how you know, we'll see how we do. Oh no, is a tornado coming to Texas? Sorry to hear that. Delta planning. Close this stuff. Sorry, guys, I got a lot of stuff open in the background. Okay, I think we're good. All right, cool. All right, so for trial users, I'm going to send one more notice. Let me send one more notice out to people that were live. Live. All right, nice. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Give me 1 second. I forgot to open this channel up for the non-trial users here. 1 second, guys. You guys get a sneak peek of the channels here. And let me send one more notice out. Oh, the stuff we have to do, guys. Stuff we have to do here. All right, guys. So the goal of this stream, as always, is to get you guys more acquainted to what we do here. You know, where to learn from, who to learn from, and how to try to be successful in the market, guys. All right. Mike asks, do you have any tools that can tell us if there's a large SPY call options order like 1 million plus? Yes. So we added, guys, we added the options flow channel with the Unusual Whales bot. So there's some really helpful stuff here. I'll show you guys now. But if you hit /help in the sorry, not in the options flow channel, in the bot queries channel, and this is available to any member, guys, any member. You guys can hit into the bot queries channel, type /help, and you'll see a bunch of different, you know, kind of bots here on the side, right? But for you guys, you want to see /help for the premium Unusual Whales bot, right? With this one, I believe this one is much better, honestly, than the one that we previously had. So it's a huge benefit. You'll see a table of contents of everything that Unusual Whales bot, all their commands and everything that you can do with their commands. There's a lot of pages, but honestly, I kind of just like to mess around with it. So we'll learn some stuff together, guys, right? This is where I get the heat map, right? This is where I get the heat map. I can do, all right, so you want to look for large SPY calls, right? So we'll do flow. Here we go, 250K plus. You can do at the ask, right? If you want to find the bulls, you want to do at the ask, right? Oh, actually, this will find everything. If it's at the bid only, then obviously these are going to be option sellers, not call buyers or put buyers. It's going to be mostly sellers. And at the ask, right? So if you are a perma bull and you only want to find bullish trades, you can do that. But we'll just do all just for the sake of this. Right? This is all premium on. Let's see. These are the biggest trades in the market right now. Looks like this is non-index though. This is non-index. So this is just one little tool. So you just type /flow, /help into the bot queries channel. Just type /help into the bot queries channel. And then this command is just /flow. Now there's so many other ones, man. Honestly, so let's actually go through it together real quick, right? We got this massive tool, man. This is really the good stuff. So let's see. So we'll look at general information commands. No, let me see. All right, so /flow, flow bar ticker. All right, so /flow _ ticker. Something cool with this actually is that each member, you guys can create your own watch list. Unless I'm mistaken, I'm pretty sure you can create your own watch list for the Unusual Whales flow bot. So potentially you can get alerts or flow for specific stocks that you're only interested in, right? By default, every 30 minutes we get an alert for the Mag 7. So, you know, the main, you know, large caps in the market, Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Tesla, Nvidia, all those automatically update every single 30 minutes of into the options flow channel. So flow, we could do flow ticker. So we'll do SPY. Premium over 250K plus. And we could do, we'll do all. Limit, we'll do 30 contracts. Let's see what we find here. Right? So, all right. So, Mike, so do you know the difference between the bid and the ask, right? So the spread between the bid and the ask is very important to know, especially if you're trading options, right? You see this bid and ask, right? If you see a side that says bid, that mostly is meaning that someone is selling the options to you. Someone is selling these. They're not buying. So just because you see, oh my God, 5-10 puts with a 500K size, it sounds like pretty scary, right? But this is just an option seller. And you could know that because it's at the bid. Right? Most of the time, if you see at the bid, that means that it is someone selling options. At the ask is usually bullish, or it could be bearish, but it depends on the trade, right? This 511 put at the ask means that they are buying at the higher premium, so it's probably a buyer. What's up, K-Money? What's going on? Good morning, good morning. Thanks for joining, guys. Alchemy, what's up? Vinny, what's up? Good morning. Milkmaid, what's up? S Little, nice to see you. FL Success, what's up? Good morning, good morning. Welcome to XTrades. Anybody on free trial, welcome to XTrades, guys. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining. So yeah, guys, I highly recommend just mess around with this, guys. I'll probably play with this live during the market when the market opens. So we got about 20 minutes left. But if you guys type /help into the Bachwarish channel, and especially if you're an options trader, I'd highly recommend just kind of mess around with this, get familiar with it. There's some really cool stuff here, guys. What else can you do here? Let's see some more flow unusual options. Oh no, not this one. This one is the other bot. Let's see, flow alerts, non-index ticker for. Oh no, so non-index ticker. Let's just check Nvidia. I'm curious on Nvidia because it's getting at a price point where I think I want to freaking buy the dip already. What is none? I'm not really sure. Let's see. Flow ticker alerts. SPY. Oh no, not SPY. Let's just do Tesla. Limit 30. Let's see those. And then what was that? Flow ticker. SPY. Premium over 250K. Where did you see that? None. I feel like I saw that somewhere. Was that here? No. Oh, that's Vinny. I see you, Vinny. Where did we see that? Oh, I see it. I see it. None. Wow, that's a big premium right there. 12 million bucks. So it just means it's not to either side. So it's probably at the mid, which is basically between the bid and the ask. That's what I'm assuming, but I'll probably have to confirm that. But that's just my best guess. It's probably what that means. So what you want to see with options, at least, is mostly if you see. So a reason why any kind of options trade would end up into the quote unquote unusual options is because you see a big amount of volume in compared to open interest. If you guys are familiar, right? Open interest are the contracts that are being actively traded, being sold and bought. But volume shows how much contracts are being only bought. Right? So if you see a heavy amount of volume, that's usually a sign that, okay, that is, pretty unusual. So this one, this was yesterday, so this doesn't really count. But as you can see, anything that expires that same day, you're always going to see a big amount of volume. So, I mean, check this out. This was 236,000 volume compared to only 3,800 basically open interest. So anytime you see heavy volume over open interest, that's kind of what you see as what is considered to be unusual flow. So here you see like volume. I like this bar right here. I wish we could sort by this. Actually, this is pretty good to just see at a glance, to see, okay, this is something worth paying attention to. This heavy volume over open interest. 61. Obviously this one doesn't matter anymore because this was yesterday, so kind of irrelevant. So yeah, but honestly, with SPY, price action is king with SPY. Honestly, guys, for me personally, I believe in some options flow is more heavily proportioned to be able to follow non-index trades instead, right? So like Tesla, Nvidia, any stock that's basically not QQQ, SPY, IWM, any ETF like that, any index basically. So just something to note, guys, right? I would personally use flow for any ticker instead of the indexes. Much better opportunities, by the way. So anything like this, like this stuff, like these are clearly somebody's selling this 8250 calls for TTD for 1/16/2026. This is an option seller. Somebody's selling you this, hoping that you just buy the dip aimlessly and just keep buying calls. Yeah, so that's I mean, option selling is winning right now because volatility is insane. VIX I think broke 40 if I saw that correctly. Yeah, 40. Man, crazy. I said it yesterday. VIX looked like he wanted to break out. It looks extremely bullish, and sure enough, I guess I should have bought puts overnight. I didn't, honestly. The only put I'm holding is Hood. I'm really sad that I actually had Nvidia. I had 100 puts for Nvidia for April 25th. Ugh, and I actually stopped out on it. I stopped out on it right here, right at the top. I can't believe I sold the top. It was like, it looks so strong. I thought it was going to break out of this trend line, and it actually did, but then it just totally got rejected and broke down back below 110, which was my mental stop loss. Was if we break the 1 hourly candle on the 1 hour, then I think that's pretty bullish, and so I stopped out around here, just following my rules, and then literally in the after hours we just crashed to 103 or something, and then obviously now here we are. So my 100 puts, I don't even want to know what they're worth. Somebody don't tell me what they're worth. Is torture. When you start looking at what a contract would be worth, guys, don't torture yourself like that. Just get it over. Get over it. Move on to the next trade. It's easier said than done, believe me. And honestly, most of the time, like, look, I like to pat myself on the back. Usually when I take a small loss that could have been worse, right? Like, honestly, if there wasn't any news, on Wednesday after hours, if there wasn't any news, this chart looked pretty damn bullish. Above 110, that's why I said, above 110, Nvidia looks pretty good if it holds that. This looked like it could have made a move. It could have done something like a little back test and then a massive breakout to this. At least 114 was my target if Nvidia held 110. I was pretty bullish, actually. I was going to flip to a bull if it held 110 the next day, but obviously didn't even get a chance to trade Nvidia to the upside. So, again, that was the plan. More times than not, it's going to work out where you take a smaller loss and you look at the next day and you're like, damn, whew, dodged the bullet. Dodged the bullet. I only lost 20% instead of losing, maybe 50 or 60 or 70%. Right? I like to honestly, you got to pat yourself on the back sometimes when you take a smaller loss than what you could have taken. right? It's easier said than done, though. I know it takes time, it takes routine to get to that point where you actually feel proud of a loss. But I try to tell everybody, get it in your brain. Get it in your brain that, you know, losing is a part of trading, guys. And I say this every week, literally. The more you accept losing as a part of trading, the more consistent you'll end up being in the market. You know, so get that instilled into your brain, guys. Losing is normal. Losing is normal in the market. I'd say this every stream as well. Anyone in their right mind, if they are, anyone in their right mind, if you ask them, you know, do you like to lose? Anyone in their right mind is going to say, no. Who the hell likes to lose, right? But with trading, it is something that is part of the game. And if you don't accept it, I promise you're going to have a hard time. When you start losing 70, 80, 90% every single time you take a loss, eventually you're going to blow that account, guys. Eventually you'll blow that account. FL Success, good morning. Thanks for joining. And welcome to XTrades. Our goal here, we do this every Friday. Every Friday we host a live stream just like this one. And we basically go over everything XTrades has to offer. And that's kind of my goal for you guys, especially you guys that have been around for a long time. You know, we try to find some live trades in between and see what we can find. You know, we'll see. Obviously, the trend is down, but we'll see if we start to get some kind of bounces. If you guys are trading options, then you already know that we always, religiously, we are following the SPY plan that JTW, one of our top analysts on the server, he posts every single day religiously, pretty much, in the options watch list channel. Looks just like this, daily SPY plan. This was yesterday. If you would have followed this at any point yesterday, you would have made money very easily. Me personally, I was super busy pretty much after like 10 a.m. I didn't have time to trade too much. So I usually only trade the SPY plan when I can pay. If I'm day trading, I need to pay attention to the charts. Right? If you find yourself, like, if you're busy working, right? And I used to make this mistake, guys, and please don't do this, right? If you have a full-time job, right? Like I do. I have a full-time job. I'm literally at work right now, right? But I'm a sysadmin for a healthcare agency. And I have a little bit of leeway with, you know, how you can trade. And everybody's situation and scenario is very different, right? Maybe you have time during the morning to trade. Maybe you don't have time in the afternoon. But the point is, if whatever kind of situation you're in, whatever your scenario is, if you're day trading, you better be paying attention to the charts, guys, right? And learn from the trades. But if you're day trading and you're not looking at the charts and you're kind of just like waiting for some kind of alert that you're up 20% or you're up 30%, you know, like I know Robinhood, for example, shows you, or it gives you a notification every time you're down 20% or up 20%, right? If you're waiting for that kind of notification, you know, you're making a mistake there. You don't want to wait for those. You want to be able to prepare and plan ahead of time. One thing that we say here pretty often is you want to be able to plan your trades and trade your plans religiously, right? Every single time you have a plan behind your trade, I promise you it's going to be more successful than not, as long as you have a plan behind it. And that includes losing. That includes losing, guys. That includes losing. So this is the daily SPY plan, right? It looks just like this. It's probably going to be released in the next few minutes, I'm sure. But JTW posts this every single day. FL Success asks, what platform do you recommend? As far as a brokerage, or you mean like charting? Because when it comes to charting, you cannot go wrong with TradingView. We actually have a partnership with TradingView. Let me send that link now. If you're brand new to trading, I can't recommend it enough. You need to get yourself familiar with charts and the very basics, just support, resistance, trend lines. If you can start there, just in case, for those that are not familiar, we have a partnership with TradingView. You get 30 days free of their premium version for 30 days. After that, you can still use the free version. It's fine. But I really recommend taking up the premium TradingView when there's a big sale, which is probably going to be in July. The next one is going to be in July. July 4th, usually the big day to take advantage of. Their 70% off, by the way. So when it comes to platforms, FL Success, my personal recommendation for beginners is Webull or Robinhood. Either one is good. I personally prefer Webull because of the fact that they do have paper trading. Robinhood does not have paper trading yet. Hopefully they implement it eventually so that people could actually learn before they, blow up their accounts like many have on Robinhood. Robinhood kind of gives you some bad habits. They give you, they don't kind of teach you, I think, enough initially, or it doesn't give you the chance to, at least. They do have little tips and tools, but people don't read that crap, unfortunately. JKC, all alerts with all exchanges? Not really. This is just options and stocks in this server. We do have a sister server fully dedicated to crypto only. If you're interested in that one, and I haven't even shown our web app yet, but the crypto side is this one. Let me send my link there for that one. But the crypto side, 2 months for approval. That's insane. You should probably contact them. They're probably missing some kind of paperwork or document, or maybe like some kind of misspelling in the name or something stupid like that. Sometimes that happens. That happened to me before, actually. My driver's license didn't match my full name, and I had to get that fixed before I opened an account with them. It was a pain in the ass. But yeah, I would contact their support. Webull support is actually pretty good. Contact their support. They'll probably answer you today. More than likely. Let me send you the crypto link here. Yeah, anybody interested in crypto side? We have one. Fully dedicated server to crypto. I can't recommend it enough as well. If you're into crypto at all, highly recommend join up. One membership, guys. One membership gives you access to both servers. One membership gives you access to both servers, guys. So you can't go wrong with our membership plans. And if you guys didn't know, oh man, what is going on? A lot of typos today. Yeah, Kevin Momentum is our founder CEO. He's been around the market for easily over a decade, and he started when he was super young, and he's become, basically I don't know if it's 8 figures yet. I know it's at least 7, that's for sure. He's a multi-million. I don't want to say multi, but he's a millionaire already from crypto, and he's founded a beautiful place that we have here. So the market is literally on expert mode, and Kevin keeps breaking out on his portfolio. He's trading. He's just killing it in stocks and options, and also in the crypto side. He's destroying the market right now. And Kevin, he wasn't as active maybe a couple months ago, but when he sees the opportunities, he lets us know every single time. And honestly, we have so many top traders here, guys. We have so many top traders here that you can learn from long term. So many top traders. It's actually pretty overwhelming. But I do have a list of top traders that you guys can follow on the app based on your preferences. One of the best things about the app, guys, is the ability to be able to follow specific traders based on your own preferences. Nowhere else can you do that, guys. Nowhere else can you do that. So just make sure, you guys, if you're not familiar and if you're brand new to the app, all you need to do is go to app.xtrades.net or download the mobile app. You heard right. Yep, we have a mobile app for iOS or Android. Right, FL Success. Hope you're listening, brother. Right, you have an app, iOS or the Play Store. You can download the app. Right. What's up, Karma? Good morning. Good morning. Right. So in the app, the way to sign in, guys, you're going to sign in with Discord. We only got 1 minute left till market opens, guys. Well, actually, market just opened, guys. Market just opened. So make sure if you have any options trades, make sure I hope you're closing out some of your puts. Anybody that banked on puts, guys, make sure you are, taking advantage of that. Yeah, my hood puts are up 100%. Oh my God, beautiful. Yeah, make sure you guys are paying attention, right? Take profits if you're in any puts. Yeah, Alchemy. Oh, I totally agree, brother. Alchemy, if you're in here, yep, I totally agree. I was just saying 510 is a good level for a potential, you know, that's it. Like it's maybe a bottom, you know, or at least short term bottom. I do like 510. I have that marked right here. So we'll see what happens with that. Um, I mean, I have hood 33 puts. I think I'm just gonna raise my stop loss and profit, guys. Something I like to preach pretty often is, you know, raise your stop loss in profit. This way you are guaranteed to not lose your trade. I cannot stand to see many traders, they take a screenshot of their winnings, right? They take a screenshot of their gains that are unrealized, right? Meaning they haven't sold it yet. They're up 50, 60, 80, 200, 300% sometimes. And then the market reverses in any way or it just goes against your trade and then you lose your gains, right? And you let that trade go from 300% up to, you know, maybe a 50% gain, or you were up 50% and now you're down 30%. Like, you should never let that happen, guys. If you have control over it, it should never happen to you. Now, understand, of course, if it will happen to you at the beginning because it's a learning curve, right? The idea is that you continuously learn here with XTrades. The goal for us, guys, is long-term consistency, and that does not happen in a span of a week or two. It doesn't happen during a free trial. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen in a month or two. It really takes months and sometimes years to get your actual trading style down packed when it comes to trading. Again, remember, investing is a little bit different, right? Investing is a different strategy. Mondific, I like that. I like that, man. I'm gonna have to steal that one. Yeah. The idea is that if you can take a screenshot, you can take profit. I think that's another saying that we started to say here. If you can take a screenshot, you can take profit. Right? Especially if you have one contract. Like, that's the stupidest thing you can do is take a screenshot when you have one contract. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? At least you should have raised your stop loss and profit. So, man, I've been pumping Chipotle for a while, and I'm so sad to say that it finally lost that 50 level. So that was my bull, you know, thesis was if it holds 50, then we're still good to go. But looks like this broad market sell-off finally lost some level here on Chipotle. I might have to buy a burrito today to make up for this. Around lunchtime, I might have to go to Chipotle and make sure this gets back up to 50. There's some confluence, honestly, guys. There's some, in all seriousness, actually, there's some confluence here at this 50 spot. If we can break back above this 50-50 level, I do like it to go long. Or again, honestly, it's not as weak as the other names. The other names had a horrible day yesterday, and Chipotle somehow stayed green yesterday, which is actually pretty relative strength. So that means sellers have not stepped in that heavy on Chipotle specifically. So I still like a long position here, but pretty cautious. I needed to break back above 50-50 at least on the 15-minute. This is on the 15-minute chart. So bull over 50-50. Let's check the SPY plan, guys, and let's mark some levels for today. All right, so this is what I'd like to do. I'll put TradingView and the app side by side. Sorry, the TradingView and the SPY plan side by side. Did he post it yet? Let's see. Oh, he didn't post it yet? Let's see. There we go. Man, little laggy, little laggy. Okay. Thanks, Mahesh. Yes, thank you. Appreciate it, Mahesh. All right, so perfect. All right, you gave me a nice little glance there. So you know what? I'll use that. So all right, let's mark these levels. Now, if you guys are not familiar, right? I tell everybody every week, you guys that are members only, you guys have access to the Trade Plan Navigator, which is created by JTW in order for us to see some levels on any chart, right? So this is how it's done, right? This is the trade plan navigator. I'm going to just enter the levels, right? Thanks, Mahesh, for putting it out there for me. So we're going to get a confirmed break of 526.63 for price target of 529. Thanks for the copy paste, man. This was actually really helpful. I should probably tell you guys to do that more often instead of me pull it up. But again, that is in the options watch list channel every single day, guys. 533.88. And then the call stop loss average down is 524.98. Literally all we're doing, guys, is copying and pasting into here. All right, we're going to take 523 puts and a confirmed break of 522.76, which we're pretty much below that already, which sucks. We might not get an opportunity to get into puts here, but hoping that we get some kind of a little pump here where maybe we can get in. The trade plan navigator has to be given access by JTW himself, guys. Has to be given by JTW himself. So just put in your TradingView username. Anybody that's interested in the trade plan navigator and you don't have it already, make sure you let me know your TradingView username. You can DM me or just put it in the chat right now if you guys don't mind. Put it in the chat right now, and then we'll tag JTW. We'll get him to add your access, guys. And lifetime members, you guys have it forever. Believe it or not. You guys have it forever. No charge. No charge. Any lifetime member, you guys have access to it forever. 517.82. And then the put stop loss average down is 524. Oh, 524.31. All right. So this is not a shared stop loss average down. There are some trade plans that sometimes will have a shared stop loss average down. So, all right, I'm going to press OK. Then I'm going to enable this, right? And then we see the levels here. Let me see. Why does it look like this? Hold on. Oh, hold on. These are levels. Oh, hold on, guys. My bad. Why did this come up like that? Hold on, guys. I need a new template, I believe. Yeah, there we go. All right, so I got rid of that template. Let me save this. We're going to save this indicator template as the SPY plan for today for 2025. And we're going to remember the symbol. I'm going to save this. All right, so now we got our levels. Oh, shoot, this is Apple. Hold on. My bad. What the hell did I do? Why did these come up? Hold on, guys. My bad. Why did my old ones come up here? Hold on, guys. I meant to save it. Ugh, I messed that up. Hold on, guys. I might have to wash this plan. Let me tag JTW what to do in this situation because I'm curious. This happened to me once before and I had to remove. Let me see if I can do it from there. Nah, I can't do it there. Trade plan navigator. Why are these coming up still? My bad, guys. Technical difficulties with the SPY plan here. No, these are from another plan. All right, I'm going to have to troubleshoot this another time. But it looked like it held the levels from before. I messed something up. I don't know what it was exactly, but all right. So let me just mark those levels again real quick. So that was let me draw some lines here, guys. But yeah, definitely this marks that definitely is a time saver when it works. But that's something I messed up, not anybody else. All right, so we're already at PT1, which is insane, man. This opening candle is crazy. A lot of selling right now. A lot of selling right now. So we don't worry, guys. We wouldn't have been able to get into this trade anyway. Hopefully, we get some kind of bounce or pullback, a little pump upwards, and we'll be able to short it again. But we'll see what happens. All right, so that was PT. You know what? Hold on. Let me see if I can. Damn, man. Somebody tag JTW, bro. I need him to fix this. Because when this works, guys, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Let me see if I can get it back on this one. I think I did have it for NVIDIA. This was for my Chipotle chart. Give me a second, guys. Yeah, I don't want to take too much time from this, guys, so my bad. All right, let me leave this out for now. Got you, Pistox. Hopefully I said that right. What's up, 007? Good morning, good morning.
Hey, good morning. How are you guys doing?
What's up, bro? What's going on, guys? So if
World's
you guys are not aware, 007, a long-time analyst here with XTrades, been around for a long time. You know, he's been hopping on the live streams with me, thankfully. And, you know, we've hopefully you guys have been learning along the way. You know, that's really the goal long term again. So, man, what do you think of this market, 007? I know it's been pretty crazy last 2 days, man.
Do you remember when I used to stream and you guys would call it doom stream? This is one of those times.
Man, I think you said it last week. This feels exactly like 2022, right?
Yeah, and we are there. You know, it just came real quick. But I think this is probably going to be worse than like any stock market crash that we'll ever see. It's just because it's so fast and it's so unexpected. Nobody is really ready for it, and everybody has been so conditionally trained to buy the dip. You know,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. Karma, the options watch this channel. Options watch this channel every single day, guys. This is the spy plan for you. It's there at your disposal. Now, obviously, a day like today is pretty much impossible to catch. You know, any kind of move because right at the open we were already below the put entry, so it was kind of impossible to catch that, honestly. But so we're already at PT. I think we're already at PT2 here. Let me see. Actually, no, some dip buys came in. Let me see.
Yeah.
Oh, not really. I mean, it's not much so far. You know, the pre-market lows, always a level worth watching. Pre-market highs as well. And also previous day high and previous day lows. Those are easy levels to just mark every single day. You know, we always like to mark those pre-market lows and highs, which right now the pre-market low is actually 515 on SPY, 515.95, which is crazy. Oh my God. That's wild. The range is insane, man, right now. Draw a line there. So anything on your radar, bro, today?
Just a lot of rebalancing the long-term port and trying to figure out what's to play from here. Honestly, I think I still hate a lot of the quantum computing stocks, I still think they're a piece of shit. I
Yeah, Mondific.
don't know if
Yep,
you.
we're close to the bear market. Just 3% more downside on SPY. Yeah. Whoops, my bad, guys. Are we back? You guys hear me? Whoops, my bad, guys. Let me make sure I get that back up. My bad. I had a little. I don't know what the hell happened. My screen just went crazy there.
Yeah,
Cool.
I think
we're good.
I think we were so bearish. Discord crashes.
Oh, you got disconnected too?
Yeah.
Oh shoot!
It
Yeah,
crashed.
they heard us. Somebody was. Oh man, who's watching out there, man? Okay, all right. So we're getting a little bounce here finally. Let's wait. We have any data today? Let's check that out. Always good to keep that on watch to see what the hell's going on today, if anything. If we have nothing, let me see. Oh, JPal. JPal speaks at 11:30. Damn, I'll be offline, man. By then, I got a hard cutoff before that, but that could be a market mover. That could be definitely a market mover. I don't know which way, but it could be an interesting little pump to potentially short again because I think there's too much indecision. When you get a downside like this and VIX is this high, um, any kind of pump, it just seems like it's shortable right now. And I think we'll know when we're going to squeeze eventually higher. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon yet, though. VIX is 38, bro. Oh, my God, man. It's crazy, bro.
The problem is Jay Powell can't even cut interest rate. And the reason behind that is because these tariffs will cause inflation to skyrocket so much that Jay Powell, like the only thing he can do is increase the interest rates. Like that's what data will tell him to do.
Yep. Which is nuts because that should probably get lead us into a recession.
Yeah, like we're already in early stages of stagflation.
Wild, man. It's so crazy. All right, so let's see what we can find. I did again, guys. I still have Chipotle's on watch if it goes back above 50, but that's a ways away. I'm not even interested in that right now. Only ones I think always worth watching is the Mag 7. Let's see what looks like a good opportunity here to either short or go long. Tesla at this 250 spot is always an interesting spot. We've bounced or died from this area a few times, this 250 spot. So let me just take a look at Tesla real quick. See what we can find. Anything, guys? Anything you guys have on watch for today, or let me know any ticker requests. We could try to take a look and see. Coin. I've been missing coin, man. I've been missing it. I haven't traded it in so long. Coin. I think the last time I traded it, coin was like at 200. It's already at 160, man. That's wild. Below Well, any kind of relevant levels. Damn, man. A pump to 170 would have been nice at the open.
I think on a day like this, we should probably talk about what stock to buy. What is one stock people would like to buy during times like this?
I honestly I like Nvidia. If you look at their I think Nvidia has maybe room to 90. But I think it's a decent starters entry here for the long term. I know Big Tex he started a position at 102. He said he was going to do that, and everybody was calling him crazy. Oh, Nvidia's not going to go to 102. This was like Nvidia was like at 130, and here we go like a month later, and that dude is a beast, man. Big Tex is a beast. So he started a position at 102. I kind of tend to like anything that has a better entry than any analyst that we have here. So, you know, AMD is at 60. Are you serious? I haven't looked at it in so long. Holy crap. Oh, AMD at 60 is a buy. I thought you meant AMD is 60 right now. Oh my God. I was about to say.
Oh, you want to buy a 102? Go buy it, Chris. Load up. I'm not going to touch it until it hits 60. I'm not going to buy any piece of NVIDIA unless it's at 60 or less.
60?
Yeah, maybe even 50.
Oh my God. Say it ain't so.
Yeah,
Say it ain't so.
I might not even consider unless it's like $50, dude.
Wow. That's so scary. It has a massive gap. I mean, it has a really strong support at 50. That's for sure. 50, pretty much. 50.
You know what's one company that I think will completely get obliterated if things like don't recover?
What's that?
Apple.
Wow, because of all the international stuff, right? They have a lot of stuff made in everywhere else but U.S.
No, they have 90% of their shit made in China.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, what do you think is going to happen when tariff is like 50, 60% plus from like 30% from both sides? And then, like, God forbid, China go like, you know what? Fuck you, Apple. And they just like, you know, just we claim all their factories and everything. Like, Apple is done. Like, what are they gonna do, bro? What are they gonna do? Like, it's not like they can move their factory.
They gotta move. That's it. I gotta move, man.
Like, they're just cooked, bro. You know how much debt Apple have?
Yeah,
Dude, do you know how much?
I saw an article yesterday. Was it yesterday? Of this stock Carter. Wow, IWM getting wrecked. I just noticed it too. Let me close one of these out. I got a lot of tabs open, man. I gotta clean this up. Boeing, another interesting one.
Bro, somebody go take a look at the debt to equity ratio on Apple, and you'll be so shocked. I would tell you guys, but nobody's gonna believe me.
What is it?
Go look up the debt to equity ratio on Apple. You can find that on like Finviz. You can find that Yahoo Finance. I could tell you guys, but nobody's gonna believe me.
Go ahead, say it.
No, I'm not gonna say it, man. No one is gonna believe it.
All right,
everybody thinks Apple is the safest company out there.
All right, let's see. Apple's debt to equity ratio is 1.26, meaning they have more debt than equity, and their cash to debt ratio is 0.56. So
yeah, you know what happened? You know what that means? That's like if you Chris have like $1 million and you have a house and everything, but you borrow like $1.26 million.
So I'm in debt actually instead of a billionaire like
yes.
Apple is.
Yeah, so like, you think they can move their factories, bro? With what money?
Apple is the next BlackBerry. Mike says. Oh man, yeah, that's a good point. How are they? Man, that is crazy.
And you know what they freaking been doing the last few years, bro? They've been using their money to buy back stocks.
Oh, that's
That's
right.
all they've
That's
been
right.
doing.
That's right. I seen that.
Buying back stocks is like reinvesting like your money back in house repairs. But like not even house repairs, house upgrades. Like unnecessary upgrades. Like let me put a jacuzzi in my bedroom. Like kind of shit.
526.73. Who asked me that? Karma. So 526.63 is the objective target for longs. Yes. But honestly, obviously, the whole market is in a downtrend right now. So if there's any kind of bounce, it's more likely that we're gonna short this bounce. So we're actually getting to the point where we could potentially short this. 522.76 is the entry for 523 puts. So it looks like we might be able to take a short actually pretty soon here. This actually isn't not a
I
bad
wanna
spot.
I wanna see 50
I'm gonna start looking at the options chain just in case.
I would probably wait for like if we can get back to 53.50s for a short. And yes,
3.
I think they're gonna try to dead cat bounce this though. I hope so.
I hope so too. I mean, my natural feeling is always to go long versus short. Like I think the average person is always going to feel more comfortable going long versus short. But so we'll see what happens. Hopefully that is the case, man.
Oh, Mondific, you're smart. He read an article that says they did analysis on Apple to move their production here. It would take 3 years at minimum, and the price of the iPhone would triple. That's right. You know, like even for the car manufacturers right now, it costs only $90 for a whole week for them to manufacture cars in Mexico. But if they were to
Wow.
suddenly move that to America, instead of being like $90 a week, it would probably be like 5,000 a week or some shit like that. Like we just don't have the manufacturing capacity to go to tariff war. Like who in the US is willing to work, bro? I'm lazy as hell. I'm spoiled, bro. I can't do manual labor.
Yeah, we are spoiled here, man. That's true.
Yeah, I mean, like, which one of you guys are ready to do manual labor, bro? I'm sitting down and my back hurts, man. Right?
You're right, man. That's a good point. All right, so it looks like let me see. Let me check some options flow, right? We got the options flow channel now, guys. Let's just see what's out here right now, right? So ongoing options flow we have here now. Every 30 minutes, the options flow channel has an update on the put to call ratio on SPY. So it's about to come out in a minute here, so you guys can take a look at it in real time. But all options flow has now this channel has right a hot options calls or puts options contracts I should say. Looks like a lot of things to the let me see WDC AMD 93 calls for next week. That's interesting. So as you can see, right, volume over well above open interest at the ask, meaning they're doing this average fill price is 151, right? So these are just things that you guys can take a look at and not exactly take it when you see it here because obviously there's going to be some kind of slight delay, but on some kind of pullback, it's a good time to see, to potentially take a trade based on any of this stuff. Just to consider, you know what I mean? Doesn't mean follow every single trade you see here because it doesn't always work out, but it's just to give you an idea, you know what I mean? Help your bias, or maybe, maybe you have a trade that's similar. So this is what I meant earlier, right? We have every 30 minutes, the Mag 7, we get an automatic update in this channel that shows how down or up it is on the day. Wow, Bob was down 9% today. Whew. Back at below 120, which is crazy. Right, you got volume. Nvidia, huge volume today. Put to call ratio, meaning so this one, so like BABA, right? 1.54. Wow, IWM heavy on put to call ratio. So that means for every 100 contracts, there's 400 puts to calls, right? Well, here you can see it, right? 486K in puts, only 111 in 111K in calls. So that's how you know, they calculate the put to call ratio. So anything above 1.0 is pretty bearish. Anything above 1.0 is pretty bearish. So this update we get every 30 minutes. So it's all Mag 7 plus IWM, BABA, and SPY. Mag 7, IWM, BABA, and SPY. So pretty nice little cool tool there. And then I think it's every 30 minutes or every 45 minutes, you also get highest volume contracts on the day, every single day. This comes out every 30 minutes, guys. Every 30 minutes. How are we looking? All right, so this is a good time. I think I'm going to short this, guys. I don't know. I'm going to short this here. We're at the put entry here. So I'm just going to check the options chain here. Oh, my God, bro. The IV is insane. These contracts are super
What are you trying to start?
SPY.
SPY?
Yeah, but, bro, the premiums are too expensive. Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's why you need to trade futures, buddy.
Yo, you're right, man. Wow, the premiums are way too expensive, guys, for me to feel comfortable even taking any of these. Premiums are jacked. I didn't notice that. Even the 520 put, oh my God, bro, 373. That's actually crazy. So normally what we like to do, guys, is take multiple contracts. You know, whether that's, you know, it depends. Obviously, for everybody's a little bit different, but yes, short means puts. Yes, correct. Yeah, so you know, usually we take a few contracts, 3, you know, 2 or 3, 4 or 5. You know, it depends on the size, of course. I usually take low risk as far as the portfolio size. And you know, I try to keep me personally on Fridays. I like to take it, you know, a max of like maybe less than $500. Like my fully sized entry is no more than $500. That's just me personally. But everybody's portfolio size is different, and everybody needs to feel comfortable in their own, you know, portfolio and what kind of size they trade. So for me, if we take any kind of short here, it would have to be one contract only, which I don't really feel comfortable with because you can't average down comfortably. Again, comfortably. That's the goal with every trade. You should feel comfortable with your trades. If you're feeling like you're oversized or you can't average down because you go down 10, 15%, then you might have a hard time with your trades. Yeah, with the IV this much, that's a good point. Might go a little bit further out the money, but it's so expensive, man. Even going out to April 7th, right, on Monday, like a 515 puts far out of the money. It's super expensive right now. 440. Yeah, I didn't realize contracts were that expensive. All right, so that's okay. We can move to some kind of mag. And if you guys feel comfortable, I mean, look, you guys can feel comfortable taking a short here on any little pump here to 523. Personally, I like to take a short. I don't want to alert something that I'm not going to actually trade. So let's see what else we can find. It depends on you, Karma. You know, it depends on you. Like I personally, I would have liked to take a trade, but that IV is way too high for me for a SPY. So SPY is kind of out of the question for me right now. That IV needs to kind of pump down a little. I don't know if that means that JPal speaking later is going to, you know, it might be some kind of big market move. We just don't know which way it'll go. So maybe they're pricing in a bigger move for later. You know, like we could test 515 today. Like those puts would be printing right now, honestly, if we would have taken it. We already lost $1 from that point. 522.30, I think it was. You sold your puts at 150%. Nice, man. Good morning, guys. Good morning, everybody else that hopped in. YB Skater, what's up? Trap King. Jordan, thanks for joining, man. Vidroid. Garduel, thanks for joining. On Target, what's up? LB, what's going on? Newbie Trader, what's going on? Sam, good morning, good morning. Any new members? Congrats. Welcome to the XTrades family, guys. So yeah, let's see. If Nvidia, I'm looking at all these pre-market lows. I mean, if any of these pre-market lows get whacked, there's an opportunity there. And now let me show you guys the app, right? We'll also take a look. Let's see what else is out there. And let's see what other people are trading, right? This is a good thing for you guys to be able to scan through the app, right? Again, the app is available to all you guys. Go to app.xtrades.net. Ooh, that was loud.
Oh, sheesh.
All right. So, okay, now the biggest benefit of the app, guys, and I say this pretty much every week, is the fact that you can follow specific traders based on your own preferences, guys. Based on your own preferences. I have a list of top traders that you can follow, but obviously it depends on your own preferences. You can follow them if you want. You don't have to. And you could take a look at anybody's stats. I'm probably following them for a specific reason. So anybody that you see on this list, I'm following them for some reason. So just know that you can feel comfortable following anybody that you see on this list, honestly. Right? So what I like to do is toggle between open alerts only, between only the traders that I'm following, because obviously we have thousands of traders, guys. You don't want to just follow anybody random, because what I do recommend to anybody that brand new here especially is post your own trades on the app. Post your own trades on the app, and I promise you'll start to see a little bit more consistency over time for your own trades because you're being held accountable by the app. The app is very transparent. It's going to show all your history of trades, and you don't want to have like freaking 10 losing trades in your profile, you know, and it just kind of looks bad. You know, it'll happen time to time. You will have some losing trades, of course, but again, it's just transparency, right? You'll be able to follow your own trades, etc., etc. So even me, I do have some losses. Like right now, the app wasn't working not that long ago where stop losses weren't triggering. So I have some losses here, man, that I need to update. You know what? I'm not gonna do it now because it's set for the sake of time. But yeah, I stopped out on. Oh, this is the one that. Oh my god! All right, I'm gonna hurt myself and look at this. How much is this worth now? Ugh. Why did I do it? Why did I do it? I lost 25% on this trade, but it obviously I'd be up like 3x right now, 4x.
Why did you do it?
I know, man. I should have swung it, man, but paper hands, bro. Paper hands. It's all good though. Happens. All right, so again, you can follow specific traders based on your preferences. So what I like to do, guys, and I'll show you guys this pretty much, I highly recommend, especially for stock trading, man. And now we just enabled futures trading, by the way, 007, in case you didn't know, bro. We enabled futures trading on the app. So now you could post futures trades, and you know, in the futures alerts channel, you could post the trades there or on the app itself. So pretty awesome there. And so now you could filter between stocks, options, and futures trades. So for the sake of the server, let's just actually it's okay. Let's leave them all. I'll just highlight the ones that have been opened during the last week, and we'll just scan through the app, right? So I can sort by who's up the most, who's down the most, right? Obviously, these are the biggest winners of the trades that are currently open right now. Verde, man, he's been killing it. Market Survival, if you guys don't follow him, make sure you do, man. He's been killing Tesla. Literally every time he's pumping and he shorts it. He's been pretty accurate. But he's been a pretty big bear as far as part of our staff traders, especially. So make sure you follow him. But yeah, so I like to go to the trades that are already actually down, right? So let's look at not the ones that are down 50, 60, 70%. We want to go more so towards the ones that are down, you know, maybe 20%, 15, 20%. For options is what you kind of want to look at. So for example, let's say, what's a good one here that we could kind of take a look and, let's see. All right, so SSL, right? This is sliced bread. He's solid. Like I highly recommend search through his posts on uranium and nuclear. You know that sector. Like he's like an expert with it. Right. So he took SSL. I think this is some kind of I forgot the type of stock this is. Some kind of metal or some sort like platinum name or something like that. But here's a good example, right? He bought 250 calls at 143. He's down 16% on this. The average price was 143 when he opened it, but the current price is at 120, right? So he's down 16%. You can get a better entry than he did. Actually, he opened it at 165. The app is kind of wrong, unless he averaged down. But again, the point is, you can get a better entry than a top analyst on the trader. I can like this trade. I can bookmark this trade, and now we could, keep track of it. Same thing. It plays even a bigger factor for stock trades. Hydra is one of our top analysts on the server. He's down 20% on this one. SNDK. I think this is this SanDisk? SanDisk, maybe? I think it is. But again, he's down 20% on this. I can bookmark. I can like this trade. And maybe since he hasn't stopped out and he literally opened this yesterday, there's a good chance, you can get a better entry than Hydra on this. So for you stock traders, don't feel like you're left out. You can get better entries than many top traders on the server. Slam is a killer when it comes to stock trades. His win rate is like 95% or something crazy like that. So anytime I see him down over 10%, I'm probably going to follow some of his trades. So DAL is Delta Airlines. It's down 17%. Yes, it might see more downside, but again, the point is that he's down 17%, and you can get a better entry than him. And again, you could just scan through the app and do this all day long and get better entries than your favorite traders. So highly recommend, use the app to your advantage, guys. Use the app to your advantage. You guys should never feel FOMO into following a trade immediately when it's open. Chances are your favorite trader is not always getting a perfect entry every single time, guys. Let's see. Google 155 calls for next week is getting a little bid here. 70% at the ask, 600K worth. I kind of like this. Let me take a look at Google. Let's take a look at Google, guys. Vidroid. Yeah, dark mode is enabled for admins only currently right now, but eventually this is probably next week, honestly. This is probably going to be enabled. Dark mode, baby. Dark mode. But I think it needs a little bit of work still. See, it's a little bit too dark. I don't know. It needs a little bit of work done, I think, but we need some feedback from members, honestly, once we enable it. But yeah. Oh, you do have dark mode. Wow, somebody else told me that they can't disable it. Karma, SMCI. Let's see. I haven't looked at SMCI in a while. What do you think of it? Is SMCI still a scam, 007? What do you think, man?
I think all the semiconductor stocks are going to be in trouble. Because
yeah, the sector's pretty ugly. Let me see. Let's check out the sectors. Oh my god, space sector, bro. Oh my god. Holy shit. RKLB's down. Oh wow. LUNR. Oh my god, disgusting. Semis. Let's see the semi sector. Oh my god. SOXL's in single digits. Oh, holy shit. Wow. Didn't realize that. I knew it was going to go single digits too, bro. It's time to buy this, guys. I remember this was at $8 like in 2022, and that shit went like 10x. SOXL went like to 40 or something. So SOXL, very interesting. I think I might take a starter entry on this without even looking at the damn chart. let me take a look at SOXL. Looks pretty attractive at that price. Just looking at it, single digits is crazy. Semis. Let me see. Yeah, if I'm buying commons and anything, I mean these leverage ETFs is pretty higher risk, but man, if this doesn't scream bottom is almost in, I don't know what does. I mean, don't get me wrong. I remember there was a point when I thought SOXL was a good dip buy, and then it went to $4. So it doesn't mean it's perfect dip buy. There is a possibility that it could still go lower, especially the markets are so weak that again, anything that's risk on is getting wrecked right now, and IWM is a good indicator of that.
What a shield.
But SMCI, let me see, where is it? Okay, down 10% today. You're buying all leverage on the way up. Nice, bro. All right, so SMCI, I had a previous support line here at 30 before, so it already lost that, looks like, so far. This is
That's smart.
daily.
That's really smart, Mike. Actually, if you could find the bottom and you buy leverage on the way up, you'd be good.
Karma, are you looking to day trade this, or are you talking about like swing long term, like 6 months, 3 months, a year out type of thing? Or what's your time frame? Swing trade? Okay. So let's look at the weekly. Weekly, this doesn't matter anymore. Yeah, so looking at the weekly, just looking at the weekly alone right here, this is the 200 SMA on the weekly, 2642. So that you could potentially take something now and use this as a potential stop loss or average down area, right here. But there also some room down to this 22 area, which this is when DeepSeek came out, and that all that crap happened with semis, and everything started to dump. So this is kind of like DeepSeek support. And on top of that, they actually remember they had fraud charges against them, which I think they kind of saved themselves out of that or whatever. So you could potentially take an entry here, but again, it's very difficult to call bottom. I would probably wait until we get a few green candles here, back above 30, to feel comfortable to dip buy on this. But again, this is like discount days. When you get things that are down 15, 20% exaggerated like this, this is usually a good shopping day, for long-term holds. At least starter entries. So this has room I would prefer a close above 30, and kind of like this kind of action, something like that, and just chop around here for a while, kind of build a base around this area. But oops. But because right now there's no bottom, this is actually pretty bearish. As you can see, this is just a potential bear flag, and it has room to go lower. So I'd be very careful. See how this base happened right here. This is the weekly. Kind of built out a base. You would want to see something like that before, and then you could go long somewhere around here. This 34 area.
This might be like a potential call entry.
Where are you looking? Spy?
Maybe a coin.
Oh my God, guys, those puts would be printing right now. I could see why the IV was so damn high. Look at that, guys. We lost 520. We're at 518 now. So, I mean, if anybody took those puts that I talked about earlier, you would be banking right now. I was that IV was just uncomfortable for me personally. But again, if anybody took it, congrats. You know, the opportunity was there. It was just pretty expensive. So not a fan of overspending. Oh, and that's bro, that stock that I meant to talk about earlier, 007 is Carter, CRI. It was some article on this
The film.
that I read. So they get all their stuff, all their clothes, the baby clothes that are made for them is Carter's is a clothing baby clothing company, I guess. Um,
Like the Trojan's place, right?
yeah, something like that. Yep. Children's apparel. Oh, includes Oshkosh, Bagosh, Little Planet, Skip Hop. Okay, I didn't know that. But it turns out that like 40% of their stuff is made in Cambodia, which had one of the highest tariffs. And then another
Yeah.
portion, like 30% of their stuff, is made in another country. I think it was Vietnam, another one that had high ass tariff. Like they're like 90% of their stuff is made in countries that are tariff like over 40%. So they got destroyed yesterday. And yeah, this could potentially see way more downside, but this is a name I've never traded or probably will never trade, honestly. But like this chart is
What a film.
disgusting.
Yeah, tariffs are like a big thing. Like it's a big tax, consumer tax. Like we're about to. I think this could potentially end materialism in America.
So
It'll be good.
Lulu,
It'll be
so
good.
Lulu's fucked.
Oh yeah, like it could potentially like teach people about how consumerism is really bad. You know, like other countries like Europe don't really have big like materialism or consumerism
Oh,
as
remember
we
we
do.
were just looking at this 007. Remember last week, man, we talked about Lulu that it lost
Hmm.
300. They just had earnings, they gapped down, and then 294 was a big spot. It went down to 283, and then the tariffs announcements, man. Whew,
Yeah,
down at
I hate that
240.
company.
Hey, what?
I hate Lulu, bro, with a passion.
How can you hate Lulu?
I have some Lulu stuff, dude,
Nice
and
pants.
there was yeah, I have their pants, and like I took it to the store to get the warranty,
Uh-huh.
and they BS the shit out of me, bro. No warranty.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Nah, man, short them to shit, bro. F them.
Yep.
Wow, Hood,
So I,
Hood. God, these charts are crazy. So this chart, I don't know if you guys are familiar. You know, I posted this a couple times. I posted it yesterday, but um, if you put this ticker into TradingView, S5FI is the S&P stocks moving above the 200-day moving average, and then SF. Wait, what is it? SF S5FI. Damn, it's like a tongue twister. Stocks moving above the 50-day moving average. This is a really good indicator of like, all right, like we just lost a lot of stocks, just lost the 50-day moving average. Like this was just a channel that I had. This is a bear flag breakdown. And it looks like this huge trend line from 2022, September 2022, is about to get taken out if we get more downside on the S&P. So we could potentially see more downside, and I would probably like to start buying a lot, or at least maybe not buying a lot, but start to buy when this gets to 25 area. I like it. But yeah, this lost 20% just in 2 days, guys, which is crazy. All right, guys. Friendly reminder. Anybody on free trial? You guys, just for joining today, we're able to give out discounts on membership. Anybody that's an elite monthly paying member, you guys are also eligible. I cannot change your currently, whatever you're paying now, but we can upgrade you with the discount available if you guys feel like you want to feel like you stick around long term and save some money. We can upgrade you to Elite Plus for 15% off. This comes to $330 for the whole year. The Elite monthly plan comes to $32 monthly for basically until you upgrade or cancel. It's recurring. And lifetime, we're doing 25% off lifetime if anybody's interested in that. The lifetime plan is actually the only one that has a payment plan available as well. Just so you guys know, keep that in mind. Okay, that's for anybody that joined today. Just DM me, and we'll shoot you the discount code for that. Let's see what else we got, guys. SPY, new law on day. Hood is getting wrecked. I'm sure Coin is getting wrecked. Coin, new law on day. Damn, man. I feel like there was no chance to short, much. Like, you had to snipe shorts today so far.
Yeah, there was that one. There was the only chance was probably at like 10:21. Maybe we'll get another chance coming up.
Yeah. Google, let me see Mag 7. What are they looking like? What are the strongest names out there today? Let's see. Just curious. What's actually strong? Is anything green? Oh, VIX. TLT. GameStop is green for some reason. United Healthcare, NVAX, LQD. I don't even know what that is. It's LQD. Google's green. Google looked like it was green for the day a couple minutes ago. So maybe those 155 calls are a good opportunity. Maybe that one that I pointed out in the options flow. Where is it? Google 155 call. Let's check this contract out. Let's see how much this is worth. So the average fill is at 199. It's probably cheaper now. That was a while back. So let's see. Google. Maybe we'll take a starter swing on this one, guys. After this pullback.
Google has a little head and shoulder pattern.
Yeah, really nice volume here on Google. On the 155 calls, guys. I think I'm going to take a starter entry and swing this for next week. I'm going to follow some flow on this one, guys. We'll take a shot. Pretty risky, though. Hopefully we are able to sell it today, to be honest. Because this volume actually increased. I'm seeing now 7,447 volume, and the open interest is the same. So that means whoever they must have added to this contract. Premium is probably even higher now. Delta's 30. So I kind of like it. Hopefully we could sell this today and not. Honestly, I'd rather not swing it. But SPY's making new lows, so that's not good though.
Amazon might be a good short. It's up pretty good for the day. If it breaks like 174, I could see Amazon test low of the day again.
Amazon, okay. I'm gonna alert this Google calls. Following some flow, a little risky, but we'll just take one contract. See how it goes. 155 call for 411 at M. Risky starter. Potential day trade. My entry was 202. So it's a little off. So pretty risky because we're fighting some of the trend, but Google's looking pretty strong compared to others. So we'll see what happens here. Following some flow. All right, we'll see what happens there. Who asked for Microsoft? Microsoft, Sam. Microsoft looks horrifying right now. A lot of stocks look really ugly right now, guys. It's the truth. So yesterday it looks like so on the week so far this is an indecision candle. When you see this, big doji like this, right? Up down like this. This is an indecision, and probably next week it'll be some kind of some kind of move. Either up, it could go, a little bounce, or it could go much lower. Um, Kind of indecision there on the weekly, so we'll see what happens there. Device. All right, so you said Microsoft. Let's see. So Microsoft Daily. Room to 360. I would love to buy Microsoft at 360. I think is a pretty good starter. Take a chance swing, but problem is we're under a lot of moving averages here. But see how there was a base that built out here? Need this to hold. Big gap down below this 360 spot. So if you're taking comments, Microsoft, you might want to wait a bit. I would prefer above 380 or below 360. 360 needs to hold. That's for sure. Meta, oof. Meta needs to get back above 525. This looks crazy how good it looked, and now it lost. Man, back to September levels, which is crazy, man. What a run this had. There was a point in time when Meta was up like 18 days in a row or something crazy like that. It went from like 590 to 700.
That was probably like them doing stock buybacks just so somebody can sell.
Yeah, maybe that's true.
That was unreal, man. Like
Yeah,
it was super bearish.
That run was crazy. Yeah. Amazon, did you take an entry, Amazon, or not yet?
Yeah. Man, look at Meta. Went from 700 to 500. $200 drop. What a short.
I know, right? Crazy, bro. What else is green on the day? Let me see. Where's the sector strength?
Probably XLP. Probably like MO and stuff.
Let's see the heat map. Let's pull up the heat map. Oh my god.
Maybe like Pepsi.
Oh my god, my eyes. Woo. My eyes. Pepsi, CL. What is that? What is this little thing on the This is crazy. What is this? Background? I don't even know what this says. That's how tiny the green is on this.
What's
That's
green?
insane. Pepsi, United Healthcare is green. CL. No, what's CI? CI, I don't know what that is. Yeah, everything else is
So
pretty freaking
they're
red.
both healthcare related stuff. CI.
Yeah, CI is something healthcare. It's in the healthcare sector there. I can't tell what is in here. I don't even know what's in there. Pepsi. Wild. So yeah, when it comes to the weakness, though, it looks like Google's the weakest of the strongest, I should say, or the less weak of the Mag 7 today so far. Where's Tesla in this? Tesla. Oof,
Yeah, Google
Tesla's
has
down
like
9.
one of the least amount of debt compared to all the other Mac 7s. I did a bunch of research last night. Let me show you guys some data.
If you guys didn't follow me with Google, you could get a better entry here on this candle here. This is the 5-minute VWAP. Could hold here, potentially. Let's see if we get a bounce here. Let's see. 148 should hold. If not, could get uglier, but let's see. SPY, new low on day. So we broke. Remember that pre-market level that we tagged at the beginning earlier in the day. We actually got there when we were at 523. Just so that put entry would have worked. Who was it that was kind of cautious with me? Karma, right? Karma. Yeah, we could have taken an entry, man. Would have been pretty expensive, honestly. So that was my discomfort there. But really, the plan was there, you know, and it pretty much worked out. We're already at PT. What is this? PT3. Let's take a look. PT. Yeah, we reached PT3 in literally 10, 15 minutes. That's crazy. 20 minutes it took. Wild weakness right now. Wild weakness right now. Wow. Hood is getting wrecked. Oh my god. Congrats to the put players, man. If you swung anything overnight, puts, oh man, you're looking really good. 340, 330. Guys, so this again, just to mention to you guys again, only our top traders, top analysts are posting in the elite XTrades chat in the options section and the watch list options section. So this is a place where you should be focusing on more so, which people make a mistake. And I know it's hard not to pay attention to the main options chat because that is the most popular channel that we have here, which is mostly options related. But this is more so noise than anything else, guys. So you will get analysis and you will get insight, you know, time to time. Really good stuff here in the main options chat. But to get yourself a real plan and to get yourself some real, like, you know, solid insight, you should be paying attention more so to these channels. So if you're an option trader, these channels will always have high level, high quality insight versus anything else. So just something to keep in mind, guys. Something to keep in mind. You want to pay attention to these more than anything else. If you followed somebody's trade, on the app, you can always request an update in the update request channel. You can post something here, and just say, hey, you know, when do you plan on cutting something, or when do you plan on, you know, doing this, or what's your insight now that this happened, or, you know, things like that. Same thing with the app itself. You can request an update on the app, right? So I did that earlier. You could request update. they'll see it on their end. The trader will see it on their end, and then they can update the trade, you know, and everybody would see it as well. So, again, here you go, Kevin, one of our basically our founder CEO, man. He's a monster when it comes to these long-term positions. He's down 12% currently on Tesla, guys. I don't know if you guys know, but he literally has a 100% win rate when it comes to long-term plays. And so him alerting something and seeing that it down 10, 15, 20%, unless he cuts the trade here, and if he does, then so be it, right? If you take a trade here when he's down 12% and he takes a loss, you know, let's say he loses at, let's say he takes a stop loss at 20% and says, you know what, Tesla's looking pretty ugly here. I don't like it anymore. And you followed it at down 12%. He stops out at 20%. Guess what? You only lost 8% on this trade. So this is where you should be taking advantage, guys, of the app the most. Again, take advantage of the app, guys. It's there for you. Gizmo.
Is he long or short?
Yeah, he's bullish. Well, no, he's actually bearish short term, long term bullish. He's actually pretty bearish short term. Here's another one. PRMB. I have no clue what this stock is. Honestly, I've never heard of this. But this is another one. Much cheaper stock price if you're interested in it. He's down 5%. You can get a better entry than him. Man, there's so many. Alex just opened TGT. I remember him talking about it. He was going to wait a little bit to potentially get into Target long term. Remember, I'm pretty sure this was a $200 stock, guys, not that long ago. Right? Target wasn't it a $200 stock? Oh my god.
Yeah.
IWM's getting wrecked. Yeah, Target was a $240 stock in 2021, and a $180 stock just literally last year, April 2024. Target was a $180 stock, and now it's at basically lost 50% since then. So now we're at 90. So Alex is buying the dip, and I really like it actually. For Target, got some strong support here at 80 with the 200 SMA on the monthly. So that's a pretty strong support right there. So Target, maybe take some leaps on this too. Not a bad option. Just check. I'm going to check the options flow for that one. I'm just curious. Let's see what we can find on a specific stock with the options flow. I'm curious with all this. Return screener. Okay, look at this. Is Mike B in here still? Yo, Mike, look at this. This is a good one. The command is /option screener. Hottest bullish, unusually bullish, cheap calls, ask openers. This is pretty good. I like this. Long-term calls. Look at this. Ticker. TGT. I'm curious. Let's see what happens here. Google big red candle. Oh no! Don't tell me that. How big? How big? Ooh, that is big. I don't like that volume either. That's a pretty big volume candle. Biggest volume of the day on a sell candle. Not good. So we lost VWAP. So let me zoom out here. This is the 5-minute. We lost the 921 EMA there. Go to the 1 hour. All right, so now we're looking at this yesterday's. No, pre-market low is 146.40. I'd probably stop out there. Honestly, I don't. All of a sudden, I don't feel too confident with that candle right there. So 146.40. Oh no, wait, today's low is 144. That was the 1 hour low. So let's see. Stop average down. So pretty risky here. 146.40 for me needs to hold. If not, probably going to stop out of that Google swing. Too risky. All right, so TGT long term. Let me see. Nope, I don't see anything for that one. Let's see. Open interest, no volume. Highest TGT. Limit. $30. Oh shit, my phone died. Oh, deprecated? Highest volume contracts. Let's see this one. TGT. Big selling going on? Oh my god, is SPY making new lows again? Oh my gosh. Wow, guys, SPY puts would be printing. We should have paid for it, man. Bro, we should have paid for those puts, man. This would it'd probably be up 100% right now. Mike B, where are you seeing live flows? Okay, here we go. TGT highest volume contract. All right, so I got to keep track of that command. Highest volume contract. So let's see. Just curious for the long-term stuff. Nothing crazy. Obviously, today's volume, I'm not even counting that because that's much different. 110 calls for May. I don't look too great. I don't know about that one. Not too convinced with this volume versus open interest. That could be a seller, but it is, according to this, is more premium to the bull side. Let me keep that one on watch. 110 call for May. TGT. I'm just going to put that on the watch list. $110 call for May 16th at 0.78 right now. That's not bad, actually, pretty cheap. I put it on the TGT on the Robinhood watch list. Let's see if that does anything. People are buying leaps here on Google. Could be. Sold these at 100%. Imagine regret selling at 150%. Oh man, dang, Mondific, man, you gotta leave a runner on that SPY 530. That was a perfect one to leave a runner, man. Yeah, man. When you have that many contracts, you sell in partials. Sell in partials because you maximize your gains and you maximize your profits when you leave runners. Runners is how you really make the big bucks. gotta leave some runners. Oh my god, bro. Hood. My hood puts are up 387%. Damn, man. I wish I would have alerted this one, man. Damn. Crazy. This one was, oh, I gotta stop out, man. Google, not looking good. I'm gonna take a quick loss on this one, guys. Down 15% here on Google calls. I'm gonna set a stop loss at 165, 160. Limit. If it happens, it happens. So let's put a stop loss there. Why didn't this close, bro? Stop losses aren't working still? This is annoying. My stop loss didn't trigger. Anybody that has issues with the app and like stop losses aren't triggering, just create a ticket, guys, and we can fix it. A lot of my trades here that I have, the stop losses didn't trigger, so I have some losses here. I gotta get fixed, man. It's just fucked up. All right, so I'm gonna put a stop loss at 160 here. Hard stop at 160 on Google. 159.
Stop build.
Gets there. There's about a 20% loss, so nothing crazy. Yeah, Renee is definitely gonna have. Yeah, stop losses aren't triggering for some reason.
Filled.
Oh my god, trading dad, bro. Nice trade, man. Oh my goodness. That's what runners are. That's what runners are for, bro. That's what runners are for. Mondific, take notes, brother. That's what you do with runners. You leave one or two, and let it ride. Let it ride. Especially when you have time on it. Especially when you have time on it. You know, you might risk a little bit of a little bit of the gain, but that's okay.
Order filled.
Yeah, I'm sure Mondific. Those are deep in the money. Or are they in the money? Let me see. I didn't even. Let me look at those again. They're in the money. Yeah, 530. Deep in the money. All right, Google bounced so far. Let's see if this is a dead cat bounce. It gets shorted again. I said 510 would be a great dip buy. Did we touch that? Oh, the low on the day is 510.05. You cannot tell me that people had limit orders for 510. All right, Google bounced. More volume coming in on that 155 call. Now 10K volume. Now 10K volume on this 155 call.
Order filled.
But I'm yapping away, and 007 is just like day trading the shit out of us.
Oh, I'm almost done. I'm pretty close to my profit target.
Apple's kind of double bottom here on the 15-minute. Looks like we're getting to a pretty bottom here on the day.
Order filled. Order filled.
Bro, you mentioned Amazon short, man. I don't know why I didn't look at it on time. That was a perfect short, bro.
Oh no, I exited that already.
That was a perfect short, man, right here at that 200 SMA on the daily there. Man, we talked about Tesla. I forgot about Tesla, man. Tesla was the first one I brought up. 250 was a big spot. If it didn't hold, that was a good short too. Yeah, FOMO was FOMO was real for sure. Let's see. I had this line here for Tesla a long time ago. It's 240 spots, pretty big. This is the 921 EMA on the daily. Sorry, on the 5-minute chart here on Tesla. 240, 250. I know everybody's short, man, but I feel like I kind of want to take a long here now on Tesla. Take a look. IV is so freaking expensive, man. Let me look at TSLL, which is also making me want to swing long-term TSLL here at 240. TSLL. $8 calls are at 50. I'm gonna wait for this candle to close. I'm looking at TSLL $8 calls for today. They're at 50 cents right now. I like this area right here with 240 as a strong support and this 921 EMA combo right here. This is at 242.67, so that would have to hold. But let's see what happens by 11. This candle closes, or it could be a short. Are we gonna short this bounce? 007, what do you think, man?
Short the bounce? I wouldn't short it until we get to a good resistance. 52.64, 52.50s maybe. A little bit early. There's a lot of momentum on the reversal here. Yep, like Mike said.
JPal speaks in 30 minutes, right? All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a couple of $8 calls. I'm gonna take a shot here, guys. On CSL $8 calls at 42. This is high risk. Stop loss. Maybe this is considered a lotto, but maybe 50% stop loss on these. TSLL $8 call 4 at M risky day trade potential. High risk, guys. It's pretty high risk. But we need this 242 to hold. If it 242 gets lost, then either stop loss or oh yeah, nice candle. Ooh, baby. Tesla. Oh shit. I'm so sorry, guys. If you didn't catch that right. Oh my god, bro. These are up 40% already. I don't know what to say, guys. Up 37% here. I don't know if anybody was able to catch that because that was kind of impossible, man.
Yeah, and you almost went the opposite direction. Jesus Christ.
I said calls. Nice bounce there. Off that 921 EMA. We'll see if this holds. I kind of like this candle to go higher here. The, VWAP is at 248. If Tesla can get to 250, I'll probably take profit there for sure. But yeah, SPY is approaching 520 again now from 510. Man, that 510 spot was huge, bro. What a range today. This is crazy. Google is looking good. Let's go. Google, let's go, Google. Let's go, Tesla. Pump it, baby.
Push.
Up 45% here, 50%. I got to take profit now on one of these at least. Approaching VWAP here at 248. Oh, DKNG, man. What a... I'm actually very sad about DKNG, but I still like it long term. DKNG. Lost some big levels, though. Oof. Let's go, Tesla. Let's go, Google. Very nice candle here on lower time frames. $248 approaching here on Tesla. What a freaking candle, bro. All right, I'm going to take profit here on the app. $65. Leave runner if you have it. Cha-ching.
Ka-ching.
Hopefully anybody followed that, man. I hope so. That was just rarely do we get perfect entries, but that one seemed like a perfect entry, guys.
That was beautiful, man.
Sold. Got one left here on TSLL. Raise your stop loss if you did take that trade. You know, get in the habit, guys. Raise your stop loss to break even or in profit every single time. Every single time. Every single time. Raise your stops and profits. Protect your capital, guys. Protect your capital. Google went from red to green, baby. 20% here on Google. Well, not yet. 18%. Tesla pullback. That's why we take profits, guys. Pretty much was approaching VWAP there. Hopefully this gives a little dip and ripper, but it won't be. I won't be shocked if this was that dead cat bounce that we talked about on SPY. So maybe that was the green, the only green we could see today.
Yeah, we were waiting for that.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. Google still looks strong here, though. Not much of a pullback here on Google. Just a little bit here, but not much. That was a strong candle right there. But so I love, man, JTW's indicator is so solid, man. This is that 200 SMA on the daily here. Sorry, on the 5-minute chart. Just basically, you can see why it's such a strong resistance here. If we can break above that, then 150 is next. But if not, we might get another rejection back to this 921 EMA 148. So see what happens here. But the volume on this 155 calls, guys, when we opened it, it was at 3K. Now it's at 10K. Same open interest. So these are the same buyers. Thought loops. Yeah, man, that was perfect. Yep. You accidentally bought 8 puts of what? SPY? Oh gosh. $8 puts? Man. You might go green here maybe on this candle alone. Maybe because the IV or the VIX right now, the IV is crazy, so it could be because of that you're green. Or this is a big volume pullback, which nothing crazy yet. Got 2 minutes left till this candle closes. I might take another entry here, maybe. To be honest. Let me see. CSLL. $8 call. Might be back to my entry again. Just in case, I'm gonna let me zoom in. Nice bounce there. Let's go, Mondific. Nice, bro. Look at that. 2 candles and we both won. That was honestly not easy, right? And just so you guys know and keep in mind, right? Never chase, right? I mean, if you miss the trade, it happens. It's fine. The same thing that I say with the alerts that you see on the trades on the alert channels, right? Only our top analysts, and I don't think I went through this earlier, but just for you guys that are brand new here, the kind of on the newer side, we have alert channels, right? Tier Pro, Tier 2, Tier 3, right? Tier Pro are the top traders, top analysts on the server. They've been around for a long time, vetted by the community. Not only are they contributing by winning trades, but also providing contributions like alerts and helping others answer questions, and just basically have been around long enough to be able to post in this Tier Pro. And then the next tier of staff traders are basically in the Tier 2. So this is another set of really, pretty good traders. I can't say anything bad about it. I mean, we have again, they get promoted within the ranks for a reason, and that's why they end up posting in Tier 2. And then we have Tier 3. Tier 3 is everyone on the server. It doesn't mean that you don't want to follow every single trader that you see here, because again, we encourage every single trader, even if you're brand new, to start posting your own trades so that you can start to see your own stats and see how you're doing over time. I'm telling you, when you publicize your own stats like this, it gives you an incentive to be able to kind of see how you're doing, and it has you held accountable a little bit. more than what you would on your own portfolio. So anything that you take on your portfolio, try to enter it in the app, guys. Try to enter it in the app, and you'll start to see your own stats populate, just like you know, if you go to my profile on the app, you can see all your history of trades. Right? Me, I have a 58% win rate, return per trade 3%. And a lot of times, me personally, my return per trade is probably on the smaller side because I raise my stop loss and I let my stop loss hit pretty often in at break even or in profit. So that's why my return per trade isn't, you know, like a crazy amount. You know, my thing is more so trying to teach traders how to be able to, you know, kind of maintain their portfolio. You know, and that is on a little bit on the more conservative side. Um, Did Tesla bounce again? Oh man, should have taken the re-entry. Thought about it but didn't take it. That 921 EMA held up, and looks like we might get a bigger bounce higher again, guys.
We might touch 5,300 on ES today.
That'd be sick. That'd be sick.
But your point about like putting the trades on the app and things like that, it's kind of part of journaling, and that's really good. It's
Yes,
like
exactly. Yep.
and I honestly, like, I would say for anybody that's looking to improve as a trader, that's one thing you want to do every day in and out, and that will improve your like your ability to improve significantly. Like, I even started video journaling lately.
Nice. That's a good idea too. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like I've been like video journaling every day on TradingView, just posting like my thoughts and the trades and things like that, and it helps me so much because the next day I can look back at my journal and I can like, you know, tell exactly what my thoughts were and just execute properly with it.
Right. Yeah, I've seen your post. I follow you on TradingView, bro. I gotta follow that more often. But yeah, I've seen it. So you publish your idea. You could record a video idea now with TradingView and just go back to it. You actually gain a following without even noticing on TradingView.
Really?
Yeah, people could randomly follow you.
Yeah, like if you watch the trade idea from Monday to like now, you can see how bearish I was getting every day.
Mm-hmm. Google's looking good here. Tesla breaking that 248. Damn. Woo. Let's go, boys and girls. Google, let's go. Tap that 150, baby. Google that 155 call. Should be up at least 15%. Just about. A 0 DT would be up like 30% at least right now. DKNG. Hood. Hood got a bounce. Apple's getting a bounce. SPY is above 520 now. Starting to get some bounces in the market. Let's see if this can hold up. We're getting a little flaggy here on SPY. Trade log, never heard of that. I never heard of that one. One that I would like to partner with, man. I would be very interested in. I want Kevin to. I mean, even though I think we could probably create something similar, but this TradeZella, guys, is pretty solid. You know, where you could it's similar where you could post trades and stuff. But you have it's like its own personal journal. And you could backtest stuff. So it's pretty intuitive. I've never actually tried it, to be honest, but I've seen some like demos and stuff. It's pretty cool, I gotta say. But honestly, I think Kevin could create something like this, to be honest, also because we already have the platform to put stuff in an app. But I think we need like a notes section and probably be pretty cool to add. Let's go, Google. Google breaking 150. Looks like dip buyers are showing up here. Oh baby, we're breaking that 200 SMA on the 5 minute here. Let me zoom out. If we break high on day here on Google, we could test we could potentially test yesterday's highs. 152.76. So first target would be today's high on day. And then above that, we'd like to get to 152. Let's see if we can get there. But those Google calls are looking good. Anybody that followed that and got the better entry, by the way. Anybody take the better entry at 190 or so? Told you guys there was a chance there to take it.
Dude, this is crazy. SPY bounced 10 points. We dropped like 25 points today.
Yo, the range is insane. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's crazy. I didn't realize, actually, because I think I was doing the Tesla. I think I was looking at Tesla, or I was looking at Google at the time. But I didn't realize that SPY was touching basically 510, which is where we said, when we zoom out, 510. I said it when we first started the stream. 510 is probably a good spot to buy the dip.
Yep.
I really didn't think we'd get there, honestly, today. I really didn't. It wasn't even in my thoughts, like, realistically. Like, look at this candle on the 15-minute. Like, this doji is insane, bro. What do you call this? When you see this, like, huge close to this candle here. Or bottom, I mean.
What are you talking about, the wick?
Yeah, the wick. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, and then so after that, you got huge bullish foundation candle.
Right.
So.
I just elected MTM taxation to be exempt from wash sale. So happy about it. Mondific evading taxes, baby. It's the American way.
Honestly, they should stop taxing us, man. I'm tired of that shit. Dude, I'm serious. I don't want to pay income taxes anymore.
That's hilarious.
I don't want to pay any capital gain tax either, man. Fuck that.
Capital gain tax is crazy. Oh my god, that is the biggest robbery, bro. That is the biggest robbery. Let's go, Google. Come on, Google. I haven't traded Google in a long time, so I remember wanting it at 175 and being upset about it. Like, damn, I really wanted Google at 175, and then it broke down to 165. What is MTM? What is MTM, Mondific? I don't know what that is, actually. Tesla testing VWAP rejected so far on the 5-minute. Let's see, probably. Oh wow, SPY actually broke 522 for a second there, and could get rejected here. This might be our. What was our short again? Isn't it 522? All right, guys, I got about 10 minutes left. Hopefully you guys were able to follow the couple trades we took. Wasn't much, but a couple winners, thankfully. TP512 Vidroid. Yeah, I know. I'm kind of thinking about a short here. This trend line, we're not breaking out of it unless we retest here again. But let's see if this is a real actual dead cat bounce. Could be. Oh man, Mondific, you got to make me read this, man. If you have a W-2 job, you're ineligible. Oh, okay. So it's only for I gotta read this later. Only for like independent contractors, etc. Or drug dealers. Hopefully you guys are using the app to your advantage. Let's see about the futures trades. Are these on the app yet? No, they haven't been posted yet. It's still in like beta testing right now. They're just trying to reorganize it. I don't think it's on the app, but it's in the Discord alerts channel, futures alerts channel. Let's see. Sort by slam. Here's another one. Right, market survival Verde, killing it lately. I'm telling you, he's killing it with the shorts. Looks like he just took an ARM 516.80 puts at 645, and again, he's down 5% here. You know, of course, he has plenty of time on it, so you know maybe you could take either a shorter strike to be cheaper a little bit, a shorter date. I mean, or you could take the same trade and you're getting a better entry than he is, right? So this is another one. I'm just gonna bookmark it. Right, I just want to keep track of it. Maybe I'll get a better entry later down the line, or by Monday, maybe we get a little gap up, and maybe he hasn't stopped out, so I'll get a better entry. This is kind of what I do, guys. Literally every week, I just scan through the app and see what kind of opportunities I can see out there. Crazy A, I don't know if he's still the same analysis here, but he did take a starter entry on Delta Airlines, which, I mean, airliners are having a tough time right now, but this is one that I'll like and bookmark it as well. He's down 30% on this one. So, hey, if you want to take a chance on this, maybe he'll stop out 10% more down from now, and you'll have a much smaller loss than he would. Right? So here's another example. I'll bookmark that one. Looks like Kevin had the same idea that we had earlier, which is short the little dead cat bounce here. He took a lotto swing for Monday, and he's down 30% on this. So maybe we'll take this entry here. 520. He took a lotto. So again, that's a lotto, meaning zero or hero. So don't expect him to say, "Okay, guys, we're gonna stop out here." He might not do that. It's a lotto.
J Powell talking in 7 minutes.
What's up, Fast? I'm new here. I've been looking at the Neptune. It's easy to use. Yes. So the good thing about the really good thing, Fast, about and first of all, welcome to the XTrades family officially. By the way, awesome decision. The best thing about NTS, and same thing with a lot of the indicators that we have on the app on the shop store, which we have on the app, right? If you go into shop, you'll see a lot of things in here, a lot of tools that you can potentially find helpful for you. The XTrades Algo Pro is free for any lifetime member. It has $1,000 value, but that one is available. Then we have JTW's NTS. So every single member has a discount available. Any price tag that you see on the app here, there's a discount available to you. 30% off for Elite, 40% off for Elite Plus members, and 50% off everything that has a price tag for lifetime members. 50% off. Now, NTS indicator is JTWs. So the best thing about NTS is that, and same thing with 007 and his trading system, swing trading system, you guys get literally one-on-one support from them. It's not like something that you randomly see on TradingView and you can search for it, and then like you have to find some other Discord or maybe reach out by email or something like that. Like literally, you have these two guys here able to help you use the NTS or his trading system, 007s. Specifically for NTS, JTW has a video of how to use it. So let me share that now. It's on our, and if you guys are not subscribed, please make sure you subscribe to the XTrades YouTube. And just so you know, Fast, this NTS indicator, there's a discount for all members, but this is a yearly charge, by the way. It's a yearly cost, not just one-time cost. Just FYI. But the whole video is there. You can check it out when you get a chance. He shows it in real time, how it's being used, you know, how to use it. And again, if you have any direct questions, you can always, the best part is if you purchase it, you can always DM him and he can help you one-on-one, have a meeting with you and show you how to use it exactly. Damn, Damn, bro, I lost focus. I was gonna short SPY there. 520 was a good spot, man. Fuck.
I have a short that's waiting too. Trying to short like 52.99 on ES.
Looks like market is probably de-risking with J Powell about to speak. That's kind of what it looks like right now. But I think that's what's happening right now. At least I would say, kind of low volume selling here, just kind of waiting. So there's probably going to be a big move here. It could be to either side, guys. So just be very careful in any trade that you're in right now, especially short term. Make sure you have some stop losses in place, or you're aware at least be aware that whatever you have right now, if you're in a day trade, it could potentially go to zero. I don't want to scare you guys, but that is a possibility when J Powell starts to speak, and it could affect the market in a heavy way to either side. What is he yapping about, by the way? What is happening? Is this on any public channels or something?
Let me see. He will probably talk about inflation and how now that the tariff data actually came out, he will probably have to increase rates.
Okay. Yeah, and that would be extreme bear.
Monday.com is the best AI for work. And here.
Oh shit, what was that?
That was a commercial for Monday.com.
Oh.
This is kind of funny. Like, how of all the of all the mascots that you could think of, how do you end up with a purple llama? I don't understand this.
Oh, Powell's already talking.
I think, is he already? Let me see the news feed.
Yeah, 11:25. Holy smokes. Here,
Hold it up.
I send it to you. Go for it, bro.
I didn't even know Vimeo does live videos.
Same. He says, becoming clear that tariff will be significantly larger than expected.
We are closely watching this tension between the hard and the soft data. As the new policies and their likely economic effects become clearer, we will have a better sense of their implications for the economy and for monetary policy. Looking across many indicators, the labor market appears to be broadly in balance and not a significant source of inflationary pressure. This morning's jobs report showed the unemployment rate at 4.2% in March, still in the low range where it has held since early last year. Over the first quarter, payrolls grew by an average of 150,000 jobs per month. The combination of low layoffs, moderating job growth, and slowing labor force growth has kept the unemployment rate broadly stable. Turning to the other leg of our dual mandate, inflation has declined sharply from its pandemic highs of mid-2022. It has done so without the kind of painful rise in unemployment that has often accompanied periods of tight monetary policy that are needed to reduce inflation. More recently, progress toward our 2% inflation objective has slowed. Total PCE prices rose 2.5% over the 12 months ending in February. Core PCE prices, which exclude the volatile food and energy categories, rose 2.8%. Looking ahead, higher tariffs will be working their way through our economy and are likely to raise inflation in coming quarters.
Raise inflation. He said the key word.
Both survey and market-based measures of near-term inflation expectations have moved up. By most measures, longer-term inflation expectations, those beyond just the next few years, remain well anchored and consistent with our 2% inflation goal. We remain committed to returning inflation sustainably to our 2% objective. Turning to monetary policy, we face a highly uncertain outlook with elevated risks of both higher unemployment and higher inflation. The new administration
he said
is
another
in the process
keyword,
of
uncertainty.
implementing substantial policy changes in 4 distinct areas: trade, immigration, fiscal policy, and regulation.
Guys, by the way, shorting the
Our
market
monetary
during
policy
news like
stance
this is
well
very
positioned
difficult,
to deal with
guys.
the risks and
Don't be
uncertainties
afraid
we
to
face
like not
as
trade
we gain a
during
better
this,
understanding
like,
of the policy changes and
It's
their
better to
likely
trade the
effects on
reaction
economy.
most of the time.
It is not our role to comment on those policies. Rather, we make an assessment of their likely effects, observe the behavior of the economy, and set monetary policy in a way that best achieves our dual mandate goals. We have stressed that it will be very difficult to assess the likely economic effects of higher tariffs until there is greater certainty about the details, such as what will be tariffed, at what level, and for what duration, and the extent of any retaliation from our trading partners. While uncertainty remains elevated, it is now becoming clear that tariff increases will be significantly larger than expected.
Can you guys hear the
And
video?
the same is likely to be true of the economic effects, which will include higher inflation and slower growth. The size and duration of these effects remains uncertain. While tariffs are highly likely to generate at least a temporary rise in inflation, it's also possible that the effects could be more persistent. Avoiding that outcome would depend on keeping longer-term inflation expectations well anchored, on the size of the effects, and on how long it takes for them to pass through fully to prices. Our obligation is to keep longer-term inflation expectations well anchored and to make certain that a one-time increase in the price level does not become an ongoing inflation problem. We'll continue to carefully monitor the incoming data, the evolving outlook, and the balance of risks. We're well positioned to wait for greater clarity before considering any adjustments to our policy stance.
Same on
It is too soon to say
I'm actually
what will
surprised
be
we
the
haven't
appropriate
totally
path
dumped yet.
for monetary policy. We understand the benefits of a solid economy where workers can find jobs and inflation is low and predictable. We also
I
understand
think
that
Spy
elevated levels
tests
of unemployment
510
or inflation can be damaging and painful for communities,
Yeah, thousands.
families,
I don't
and
trust
businesses.
anything either.
That is why we at the Fed will continue to do everything we can to achieve our maximum employment and price stability goals. Thank you, and I look forward to your questions.
Oh, questions. Here's the juicy parts. Once he starts answering questions, that's the real deal.
Most importantly, thank you for being here. This feels like quite a moment to be speaking with you, and I want to thank you for your time.
Yeah, he didn't say anything brand
Got it.
new. I wouldn't say surprising.
Thank you for
He's always
being here,
he's always
and
politically
thank you for
correct,
taking the
man.
time to
He's
speak
pretty
with
good
us.
at his speech.
This group of business journalists. Also like to give a special thanks to Heather Wong with the Washington Post, who helped make this event possible.
Google's pretty
So
flat.
for starters, sir, how's your week been?
That's fine.
Care
they
to
say?
elaborate?
So far, so good.
Chair Powell,
She said for starters, how's your week been?
taking our questions. You were talking about the economy as being a very strong economy. You characterized inflation as coming down, employment as being very strong still. However, President Trump earlier this week, when asked about the market volatility we've been seeing, said the volatility was, quote, to be expected. This is a patient that was very sick. We inherited a terrible economy. A lot of voters did and do agree with that assessment, or at least in part. I'm wondering how you would respond to that assessment and the disconnect between the story of the data and the way a lot of people are feeling about the economy.
Sure. So let me just be clear at the start. I make it a practice not to respond to any elected officials' comments, so I don't want to be seen to be doing that. It's just not appropriate for me. But the situation, I think, is this, and people, when they're surveyed, they are unhappy about the economy. That seems to largely reflect the increase in the price level that happened when inflation was high, 2021, 22, and 23, largely. Inflation is now back down to much more normal levels. Unemployment is low. The economy has been growing, but people are still experiencing that high price level. In other words, prices don't go down. They know they're paying much more for the basic necessities of life, and they're right that they are, and they're not happy about it, and they're right not to be happy about it. So I think that accounts for the negative sentiment. We, of course, we're looking at inflation, which is the change in prices, and we're seeing that has come down quite a bit, and that, unemployment is actually low. It's sort of very close to measures of maximum employment. and the economy's growing. So all those statistics are good, but the price increases of the past few years are weighing on people's budgets.
So I'm from Milwaukee, and I've been talking to business leaders, executives, and consumers in our community, in our region, for the last few weeks, mostly before this week's news. Chairman, they're troubled and they're nervous. One business owner told me, if there's a hint of a recession, we're cooked. And he asked me to share that with you.
He said cooked? He said cooked?
So I guess I would say, let's start with the fact that the incoming data right through this morning's employment report, which admittedly is from roughly a month ago, the week of
He
March
did say
12,
that, right?
they took the data in. It still shows us a solid economy. Unemployment's still low. I understand the uncertainty that's weighing on people. You ask about a recession. We don't make a probability forecast of how likely it is for there to be a recession, but many outside forecasters
Down
do.
goes SPY,
and
baby.
Many of them have raised the likelihood, albeit from very low levels. It's not
515 testing.
It's not something that anybody now is forecasting, or some people are starting to. And so I
was
can't. There's not
hilarious,
much more I
bro.
can say
I
about
need
that.
to
I realize that the uncertainty is high, and what we've learned is that the tariffs are higher than anticipated, higher than almost all forecasters predicted. We're just we still don't know where that comes to rest, though, and we're just going to have to see that through.
At a congressional hearing last year, one of the U.S. representatives said that you were pretty boring, and you thanked him and said that you considered that a very high compliment. And in fact, I feel like it's one of the roles of the Federal Reserve, especially since the housing crisis, to be kind of a ballast, especially in the face of the volatility of the markets and the dramatics that we can experience with the economy. Very steady, no surprises, very reliable. In a moment like this, which also has a lot of drama and unpredictability, but it is not necessarily from an economic crisis, it's by design, it's political. How do you see your role in this moment?
So I think all of the values that you touched on are, in fact, the values that we try to live by. We're driven by, analysis and careful thought and discussion and debate.
I agree, bro.
And the merits of things. We try to stay
Jay,
as far as we can from the political process. We don't look at political cycles or things like that. So, and I think people expect that from us. They expect us to tell the truth.
Oh man,
and that's
Google's
what we're
losing
gonna do.
levels, man.
But at the same
I was
time,
happy about
we're
Google
not
Swing,
part
but
of. We don't
I
want to
don't
be
think so
part of the
anymore.
broader political discussion about the wisdom of policies that are not assigned to us. We're not responsible for trade policy, immigration policy, fiscal policy. So we don't comment on those. Decisions are made by others, and what we do is we use our tools to try to achieve the goals that Congress assigned us, which is maximum employment and price stability. So I like to think that over time we're a source of calm, rational analysis and also of stability. That's really what the business that we're in is, providing financial and macroeconomic stability to the public. That's really our purpose.
So how can businesses and individuals and the Fed make plans for the future when so much is being dictated by the actions of a single person? And do you see yourself as the
playing around with this 515
on economic matters?
Looks like it's about to go down though.
No, I think, take a step back. What's happening is, as I mentioned, the new administration is making significant policy changes in trade, immigration, fiscal policy, and regulation. And this is.
How about that
we're still
trend
just
line
a
though?
couple of months
Shit
into the
rejected
administration.
3
And
times, 4 times.
That process will take place, and at a certain point, the new policies will be on the table.
Never broke
They will
out.
be having the effects they're going to have on the economy, and uncertainty will decline.
bear
Right
flagging.
now, there's a lot of uncertainty about where all that's going to sort out, the forms it will take, and what the economic effects will be. If you fast forward a year from now, the uncertainty should be much lower. The actual effects of the policies should then be pretty manifest and clear. So I think I understand why it just is highly uncertain, both what the policies
You keep
will
saying
turn out to be,
uncertain.
exactly
Markets
what
don't like that,
and also
guys.
what the
Remember
effects will be in
this,
the near term.
the acronym for
We
FUD,
just have
right?
to go through that process.
Fear,
and it's just kind of a
uncertainty,
manifestation of our
doubt.
election cycle.
None of those
and
words are
a
good.
New administration coming in
Ever.
with new policies.
I mean, given the all of the change
Keep saying
happening, and the fact
uncertain.
that we
That's
are in
not a good
period
sign,
where
guys.
things have not settled in yet, and that the Federal Reserve and you as chair are very projection, data-driven, policy-driven. How do you handle a moment like now? I mean, can you tweak your plans and projections? Do you just kind of, do you have to reset them?
Uh-oh.
So, what we've had since in the last few months is from the staff has been a placeholder. Rather, they wouldn't call it a forecast because it's so uncertain. They call it a placeholder, and that's kind of how we've been thinking about it. So it's a good time to take a step back and let things clarify. That's why it's just too soon to say what the appropriate monetary policy response will be to these new policies. It is just too soon to say. We can't say with any confidence today. So that's what we're doing. We've taken a step back, and we're watching to see what the policies turn out to be and the ways in which they will affect the economy, and then we'll be able to act. Fortunately, our policy stance is in a good place for us to do that. We're probably moderately restrictive, let's say, so it's not really tight policy, but it's which is appropriate since inflation is a bit above target. So we think we're well positioned to address whatever may come.
He always answers the right things, guys. He's really good at what he does.
Clarity before we consider adjustments.
So you know what somebody needs to ask them, man? They need to be like, what will you do when they have confirmed that the tariff are like this high and things?
They want to build a new facility.
They
They want to hire,
questions
like,
about
whatever the future calls for. They say, we're trying to look around the corner. We're not even sure where the corner is, and we're not even sure what's around the corner. Sounds like they're in the same position as you are a little bit.
No, we hear the same thing. Of course,
They need to ask him, what would you do with your
network
stocks
of
right now,
contacts with
J-Pal?
businesses and also universities,
Yeah.
nonprofits, all different sectors, through the reserve banks and also.
And where do
through
you
the
see
board
the
of
next
governors.
support for SPY?
And that's what we hear. But again, it's a process. We're going through it, and I think we will know when we know what the policies are exactly and what their implications will be for the economy. That will all become clear, and I think that'll be a time when people can make decisions. In the meantime, though, I get it. We're hearing that a lot from people, and we are kind of in the same place, which is waiting for clarity about what our policy path should be.
It might be months away.
We'll have to see.
As you're talking about placeholders right now and having something in the place when there's so much that we don't know, it does occur to me that this is not the first economic shock that you have steered the markets and the economy through. Obviously, there was COVID almost exactly 5 years ago. It seems similar in certain ways with a lot of uncertainty, a lot of shock, also potential disruptions to prices and to supply, which is very much in the Federal Reserve's wheelhouse. I mean, from where you sit, can Liberation Day be compared to kind of the economic effects of COVID? Are they totally different, somewhat related?
I think each situation is different. There was COVID. There was also then, in the response to COVID, then there was high inflation, and then there was soft landing.
It's a good time to take a step back and let things clarify.
And now we
It's too
have
soon.
new administration and changes in policies, and every situation.
I think that needs to
kind of
educate
rhymes,
people
but
about
it's
the
not
Liberation Day,
exactly the
man.
same thing. And so in this situation, what we face is what I mentioned in my remarks is you actually have risks for higher unemployment and higher inflation, and that's difficult for a central bank because our tools, which consist of interest rates, either slow down or speed up the economy over time, and higher unemployment would call for speeding up the economy, and higher inflation would call for slowing it down. So you can be in a situation, if we find ourselves in that situation, we look at how far each of the two variables is from its goal, and we ask ourselves, how long would it take to get back? And we weigh those things and make a decision about what to do. But there's no question.
When do we sell
that's
our stocks,
That's a
J-Pal?
different
That's all we
situation, very
wanna know.
difficult situation. When we faced high inflation, it was painful for the country, painful for the people that we serve, but
a good
we knew
time
what
to take a
policy
step back,
needed to
yeah.
be. We knew we needed to raise rates quite a bit. During the pandemic, we knew what we needed to do. It was very clear the direction that we needed to take with force, and we did.
It's almost a situation potentially where the dual mandate is at odds with itself.
The two goals
time
are,
frame, Vidroid?
as we say, in tension, or they may be. I'd say that's not what we're seeing right now, but it's the effects at the margin right now would be for
Yeah,
higher
this looks
inflation
bearish to me. This is a bearish.
perhaps higher unemployment, but that's a marginal effect. I would say
This is
that's
on the
not.
5-minute
You're
though.
not in a situation
Daily?
like we
Let me
were
see.
in the 1970s, where the
mean,
two
again,
goals
daily,
were
like,
really both
This is
pulling
a
in
pretty
opposite
important
directions
spot
and
here.
required. That's where, it's just very hard for a central bank to
Oh,
to
wait,
be
I
the
forgot.
answer
We're
to
well
a
below
situation
that.
like that. But that's not the situation we're
reset
really in
this.
today.
One of the questions from the audience that we had is,
Go
if
to the
unemployment takes off and inflation takes off, which lever do you go for? Which
I mean,
lever
on a
do
bigger
you-
time frame, SPY looks
What do you do?
horrifying. So
So we actually have we have a document called our consensus statement, or the longer version is
Look at the monthly.
Statement on Longer Run Goals and Monetary Policy Strategy. And the 6th paragraph of that actually contemplates when the two goals are in tension. And what it says is, think about how far each
465, man.
variable is from its goal, and think about how long it would take for each to get back. So in a way, it's an equation. You're comparing two quantities, which each have two variables. And then you say, you look at that and you think, what do we need to do? And typically this doesn't happen very often, but if one of
PayPal's
them is
saying the right
further
things here.
away, then you would focus on that one. In the case of high inflation, they actually both pointed in the same direction. The labor market was overheated and inflation was very high. So both of those called for tight monetary policy. This could be different, but again, we're not actually facing that today.
I feel like there's another tension inherent in your job, which is that you're looking at the macro economy, at the global economy really, and the U.S. places in it, but also the data you're looking at is very profoundly human, as Jim has been pointing out. Jobs, I think, and prices are probably the two most human pieces of data, and certainly in our day-to-day experience, probably the things that loom the largest. How do you reconcile those two things when you're looking at the data, like both the global markets and knowing that the data represents a lot of lives and jobs and egg prices and things like that?
So I think at the Fed, we
Not the
always
eggs. Not the eggs.
keep a focus on the people that we serve, and we know and are very conscious daily
BTC,
that the
good
things
question.
that we do have a real
Tango,
effect
thanks
on
for
people's
joining,
lives.
brother.
We know that, and it really does
Welcome
focus
to
the
XTrades,
mind.
by the way.
And I think if you talk
By
to
the way,
people
I'll
at the
guide
Fed,
you.
there's a
Anybody on
very
free trial?
strong
Anybody on
commitment
free
to
trial?
serving
I'll
the
guide you
public
through
as
the
well
free
as we
trial.
possibly can.
Just
Economic
reach out to me, DM
events
me,
are
and
just
I'll be happy to
very,
help,
very
guys.
unpredictable at times, and there are shocks
Anybody
that you
that
can't
joined
see coming.
the
Nonetheless, our job is to, whatever
Anybody
happens,
that's joined the
use our
stream,
tools to bring the economy back to
we're also
stability,
offering
back to price stability,
discounts
back
on
to
membership
maximum
plans,
employment.
whichever
And that's what we
membership plan
do.
you're
But
interested
you're right.
in.
We try to
we're able
keep
hit you up with a discount for
everybody in the
just for
room with
showing
us
up.
when we're thinking about what to do.
Little incentive. We want you guys to make
So
sure you
in
get
response
familiar
to
with the
last
server
one,
and the app.
tariffs, Harley Davidson, which is based in Milwaukee, moved some production to Thailand. Now the company might be whipsawed again by the new tariffs. It could be really devastating for sales, for employment, for the future of that company. But a lot of companies are in that same position. And what do you say to companies like Harley Davidson and their workers?
So it just isn't.
Harley Davidson.
I really want to stick to our knitting. I mean, we have this great thing called our independence of monetary policy, and that's critical for us to be able to do our
BTC,
job. But for us to keep that independence,
Surprisingly,
we need to
hasn't
not
dumped
succumb to the
nearly as bad
temptation
as
to want to be a
SPY,
player on issues
the
that are
last
not
couple
assigned
days.
to us. And trade policy is one of those. There are
Side by
many,
side,
many
guys.
issues that people love to try to pull us in on, or almost every issue, really. And we just need to stick to our knitting, not
let's
get
do
pulled
ES.
into those things. And so trade policy is a classic one. Energy policy is another. Climate change, many immigration is not really, although all of those things have economic implications, and it gets argued that way. But if we treated those as our job, the case for our independence would disappear. So I really can't comment on, we hear the same stories like that, but honestly, the policymakers who are charged with that, they're probably hearing the same stories too, and they're reaching a judgment about what's in the best interest of the country in the long run. That's what they are doing, I guess, and that's, so it's not for us to comment on that.
What happens inside the Fed at a moment like right now, when there's so much change and quite a bit of uncertainty? When you're watching things unfold, what does that look like practically
Bitcoin
speaking?
is
What
not
are people
nearly
doing
as
inside the
ugly
building?
as SPY the last couple
So
days. But
I'm
yes,
I'm very proud to work with the people I work with. I can tell you that in
Right.
times like this, or times like the pandemic, where the global financial markets were shutting down, the global economy was shutting down, people step forward and they say, "We've got this. These are career people who were here for the global financial crisis. They've got 25 years, 35 years of experience with crises, and they step forward and it's just incredible what they can do and how good they are. It's a great honor to work with them. So right now isn't that situation. You know, we have the situation we have. So, you know, our trade people and our inflation people and our macroeconomists are all working hard to, you know, to kind of digest the news of this week and try to filter that into the forecast that they'll make. And policymakers are doing very much the same thing, and we're reading everything we can about what's happening and lots of outside analysis too. We don't have an FOMC meeting until May 6 and 7, so that's really a process that lasts several weeks. But and we're not quite at that stage yet, but we're kind of thinking ahead to that and working through all of that. I will say though, you know, it feels like we don't need to be in a hurry. It feels like we have time
Really?
to. Yes, it feels like we don't. It's like I said, you have inflation's going to be moving up and growth is going to be slowing, but it isn't really. To me, it's not clear at this time what the appropriate path for monetary policy will be, and we're going to need to wait and see how this plays out before we can start to make those adjustments.
Question from the audience. One of our SABU members is, are you in contact with other central bankers?
86K was the 24-hour
Yes,
200
yes,
SMA
pretty frequently
on BTC. So
Absolutely.
macro side of
And
things,
the same was true.
BTC looks like
during
pretty
the
ugly, but
other
not as
crises
bad
that
as
went through. Not only that,
the
though,
regular
we
stock
do
market.
meet very regularly. You know, the
Actually,
IMF World
BTC
Bank
hasn't
meetings
held
here
up,
in
has been holding up
Washington
pretty
twice a
well
year.
for
We
the
go
last
to
couple
Basel
days with that
multiple times
massive
a year to
downside.
meet. That's all central bankers.
But this is still a
And
bearish
also G20
setup here.
meetings, G7 meetings,
We
where
could see
where the central bankers are
78K
there. So we're kind of regularly meeting
next
and talking.
if the
and when
markets
we're
don't
not
hold
doing
here.
that, we're also texting each other.
Is there a
And
group chat?
I could see it. A group chat, bro. What is happening?
I'm not at liberty to say. No, there's not.
Yo, we need to get into J-Pow's group chat.
And have you talked to those central bankers this week?
Recently,
Karma,
yeah, I didn't want to
if
get too
SPY
specific about
touches,
this, but
if
yes.
SPY
I
retests
have.
What's their
520 again,
sentiment? Can you
I think I'll
characterize
definitely
that?
take
I'd
a
rather,
short.
you know, again, I don't comment on what my
and then
what
below
my international
514,
colleagues say, or it's not appropriate.
if we break this
Yeah,
flag
we're
right
talking
here,
about events. We're talking about
I'm
the
also looking at
implications for
shorts.
the economy. We're discussing what
Right
we're
around
hearing
here, maybe?
from markets and from business people and for you know, from the
514,
elected
20.
governments too. It's all the things you would expect us to be talking about on a regular basis. It's one of the best things about this role is that the central banks have a lot. You know, we're all non-political, so we think about things in quite similar ways, and they're real bonds. We're not
VWAP,
lobbying each other ever on policies.
pretty much
It's never.
coincides
That's
with
just not a
520.
thing, because we
So
do
we'll
our
start to
policy
look
here,
at
they
shorts
do their
maybe
policy
around
there.
here again.
But we develop really good relationships and bonds with them.
With
It's
a
one of
pretty
the
tight
real
stop
pleasures
above
and
maybe
benefits
here.
being able to talk about this, just not only with the great people at the Fed, but also with the leaders around the world.
I mean, it's interesting because it is a job of enormous responsibility and power, but it's also a job. How would you characterize the job of Fed chair? Like, how is it as a job?
What is this
Honestly,
lady asking,
that's what it
bro?
is. I really feel just like another person doing that job.
Really?
Yeah.
You just like,
That's how it is. I'm doing a job. I have a job to do. I actually really like the job. I like it a lot. I enjoy it. It can be stressful at times. Nonetheless, incredibly interesting, great people to work with, really important. You know, what more could you want? That's what it is.
We're in kind of
And,
no man's land here in
again,
SPY.
I'm blessed by working
There's
with
not
great
much action
colleagues
yet.
who
It
are
seems
really
like people are
committed
waiting for
to
this to finish.
getting it right. I mean, fully
To then
appreciate
make a
how
move.
important it is that we get it right.
So there's no trade right now,
And,
guys. Don't
do
like
everything
force
we
it.
possibly
You know,
can
you'd
to
be
bring the
kind of
best
guessing
thinking, the
here.
best analysis, and debate things.
Be short here, you
know,
might
over
get a
and over
bounce
until
and
we
go
feel like we're in
and
the
might
right
end
place.
up at
At the same
520
time,
and you're
there's no
down
certainty in this.
20-30% on a day
You can
trade.
be wrong because
Don't
economy
trap
can
yourselves,
can
guys.
zig when you thought it was going to zag.
Wait. Patience, I know, is
So your
difficult though.
term as Fed chair ends
I
about
know
a
it's
year from
difficult.
now. What do you think about your job security?
Oh my God, bro!
I
what
fully
is
intend to
question?
serve all of my term.
excellent. I mean, as we're getting close to wrapping up, I did want to ask something a little bit out of the box. I think because
Oh,
you do have a position of such great responsibility. People are very curious about you, and I think people tend to read into everything a Fed chair does. Small
By the
gestures.
way,
word
are we
choice.
laggy at
I know
all? Like, is the stream
it's
pretty
part
good?
of our jobs in this room to pour over every word you choose. I did want to ask about
some
one
feedback,
thing that I
guys.
wondered about for
Just curious, 'cause
years, which
we've
is
never really streamed
your
the video.
tie. You always seem to wear a purple tie.
Cool,
And
nice.
every time I think I've seen you, you've worn a purple tie, and I'm wondering if there's significance to that.
Well, at the beginning, the only significance was that I like purple ties.
Okay.
But I will say, so then the next press
Purple
conference, I
tie's
reach
bullish,
for
guys.
a
He's
blue
wearing
tie
one,
or a
right?
red tie, and I go, maybe not, And so I wind up wearing purple ties. And then it becomes a thing, and now I definitely wear purple ties all the time.
Okay.
But I felt like, it just felt a little awkward to be wearing one that was identified. We are strictly non-political. I can't stress that enough. We are not, it's not that we're bipartisan. We are non-political. We don't do that. And so purple was a good color for that. That's all. Plus, I like purple ties.
Sorry, I didn't give you
Tie.
a purple guitar pick. I have one other Milwaukee question that I overlooked here, but in Milwaukee and other parts of the country, the housing market is out of whack. In our market alone, in southeastern Wisconsin, there's 5,000, the market's out of whack by like 5,000 houses that need to be on the market for it to have equilibrium. And a report this week said tariffs could tack on some $6,000 to the cost of building a new home. How long are people going to sit on their cheap mortgages from COVID? Thank you very much. And before they move on, before the market frees up.
So you have several things there. The first is we just haven't built enough housing, and we haven't kept up with the demand for housing. So
Trump
there's an
on Friday
underlying
reposted a
shortage.
video claiming
before the
Buffett
pandemic,
praised
there was
tariffs?
a real housing shortage. And by the way, that's happening in many comparable democracies
Really?
around the world. The second thing is, lock-in, as you say. There were very, very low mortgage rates during COVID, and people are kind of locked in. It would be very expensive to move, and that'll of course wear off over time. You also mentioned, the costs of materials that might be imported, lumber and nails and things like that. And yeah, and also labor, a lot of labor from in the home building business has been traditionally immigrant
Yeah, and
labor.
SPY's just
So
kind
yeah,
of in
the
no man's land, just waiting for this to
the sort of
finish.
new build market
And
may face
honestly,
some cost pressures as well.
From
That's
my
that may
understanding
very
with
well
this
be the
speech
case
so
since we were
far
hearing
and the
from
questioning,
home builders, for example,
he
both
said
on
the
the
word
labor side and
uncertainty
the
way too
materials
much.
side. But even once these short-term
I
things
tend to
happen,
think
we're
that
still
the
going to
lean
have
towards
not
bearish.
enough houses.
It's
And
hard
so
for
it's
me to
all,
see.
I think for a long time
a
we're
light
still
at
going
the
to
end
see
of
upward
today.
pressure on housing prices.
For longs, at least.
Maybe until
So
population
I'm still pretty
growth
bearish,
slows
but
and until we catch up.
You
See
mentioned
what
that we're
happens
kind
here.
of
I'm
in
still
a
bearish
period
if
of
we get
waiting
below
right
this
now to
line
see
here.
how policy ripples out through the
514.
economy. How long do you expect that to take? How long do you expect these big
Yeah,
policy changes to show up
agree.
in our day-to-day
Uncertainty
lives
is
and
the big one
prices
right now.
and
Yep.
supplies and
Fear, uncertainty, doubt.
So
Keywords.
for a while,
market.
we
You're
didn't
brand
know,
new. Those are keywords. FUD.
what was coming on April 2. Now we know what came on April 2. We don't know. There's a lot more to be said about how all that shakes out. But we've come through that, and I think you now know that the tariffs are larger than people were generally expecting. That much now at this point. And you'll know more as you start to see the effects on the economy. So as the months go by, it's hard to say exactly when you'll know, but clearly that learning process is ongoing. We're just seeing that these are new policies, not just the tariff policies, but the other ones as well.
So Tango, we do have a
important
news
fiscal
feed
legislation
where it kind
coming
of
up
gives
fairly
like the
soon.
highlights of what's being
And
said
there'll be
today.
regulatory changes, significant
And
regulatory
really
changes.
all the
You have to
time.
really
We
look
just
at
have
all
like
of that
highlights
to see
of
what the overall effect would
pretty
be.
breaking
So
news and stuff like that.
I
in
can't
the
give you a
newsfeed
date,
channel.
but all of that is
Pretty
now
helpful
kind of
just
coming
to get an
into
idea of what the hell's going on.
place
Wise.
at sort of the speed you would expect policy changes
A lot of little
to be,
tools here.
and we'll begin to see the real economic effects as the year goes on. But again, I
By
can't
the
give
way,
you a really specific date.
Somebody told
Is the
me
fiscal
a while back
legislation
that we can't
the
favorite
tax-
channels anymore, but I
tax
still
cuts?
see that. You guys,
Well, yes,
when you
I know
right-click
they're
a channel
contemplating,
or
we
long
don't
press a
comment on
channel,
fiscal policy, but
are you guys able
what
to
I read
favorite
is that they're
channels? Because that's
contemplating,
one of the
making
things that I
the,
always recommend
the
to people, but
Tax
I
cuts
haven't
and
seen
Jobs
that in a
Act
while.
cuts permanent, and also perhaps some other things as well.
So,
we
but
wouldn't-
that's something I recommend, guys.
We have sort of a placeholder for
On
that too. but,
Discord, you
that's
gues
really
can
not ours to
favorite
comment on, but
specific
that's what
channels.
I was talking about.
Right-click
Yes.
if you're on desktop.
So I have a question
long
from,
press if you're on
from
mobile.
a friend in Milwaukee who said she has
and
clients
you can
that
favorite
have
channels, and it'll go
deals
to the
ready
top
go.
of your list. And I
Businesses
recommend that
are
for
ready to
channels
launch
that
from
you're
their
specifically
garage
interested in.
to a private
If you
equity
want to
deal.
eliminate things
And
and you don't
they're
want
just stuck in
channels
their
at all,
garage
you can
right
click
now.
on browse
How
channels
long do you think?
and just
what
eliminate
do you
whatever
think
you
the
don't
impact
want.
of
Whatever does
the
not interest you,
uncertainty
you
these
can just
days
take it
will
out.
have on the private equity deals?
So again, we're hearing a lot of that. People are they're just kind of waiting for clarity, waiting for clarity. So, and
Oh,
I
Mondific,
can't
thank
tell you
you.
when that will
Thanks for bringing
pass.
that up.
But
I didn't know that.
ultimately, it will pass. We know that, at a certain point, we'll know enough to know what the uncertainty will decline, and we'll be able to see, with real clarity what the policies are and what their effects are. So, you're right. We hear the same thing from businesses and from people that they're kind of waiting and seeing. There's a lot of waiting and seeing going on.
Can he run for a
including by
third
us,
term?
And that just seems like the right thing to do.
Wait,
at
you
a
mean
time
Trump,
of
or I
elevated
thought you meant
uncertainty.
J-Powell? You mean
What
Trump?
economic indicators are you
Can't run for a
watching
third
right
term,
now?
can
I mean,
he?
very famously, you look at the CPE
I
and,
thought it was
and
two-term limit.
obviously the CPI and things like that.
Oh,
But are there
okay.
any economic indicators in this moment, in these circumstances, that you are watching, focused on,
Sure.
interested in?
So the basic two big data pools are
What,
the data
executive
around
order?
prices and around employment. And we get in the employment area, we get just really and that's an area where we actually get pretty good data. Although the survey response rates have been lower, nonetheless, we get a lot of different data. And it's not just unemployment, it's participation, it's by age group and things like that. It's wages, it's many, many different things. It's jobs, it's quits, all the job creation, quits, openings, all those things. So that's one thing. On inflation, we target PCE, personal consumption expenditure inflation, not CPI, and the two are broadly they move they move together. But 25 years ago, the Fed switched to PCE. The public looks at CPI. It's kind of a little bit of a thing, but because we think it's really just a better way to capture the inflation, the cost pressures that households and businesses feel. We think it's a better measure, and that's what we look at. But they're not that different. I mean, they look at different measures. Ultimately, they're pretty close together. Those things. On growth, you look at what's happening with consumer spending. The economy is overwhelmingly driven by consumer spending. So you look at how are consumer surveys, how are they feeling, how are they spending? Sometimes the surveys are very negative, but they keep spending. That's been happening really for a while. People spent right through the pandemic, and they spent right through this time of higher inflation. They kept spending, and forecasters kept thinking, like us, kept thinking that consumption would slow down. But that's a really critical thing. After that, business investment is a big chunk.
I'm just saying, don't put it
and that is
past
also
them.
susceptible to sentiment. Businesses, if they don't know what to
Kalshi
do, they're not
has some
going to do an
interesting stuff.
acquisition, or they're going to hold off on building a factory or a plant or hiring people and things like that. So we look at, I could go on for a long time. We look at a lot of data, and we try to make sense. We also talk to people who are in the real economy. I grew, my career was mostly in the private sector, talking to people who ran businesses. And for me, the story doesn't come together until I actually hear from people who are in the economy doing things.
How
and what
long
they're
is this
feeling and
happening
seeing,
for,
and
bro?
then it sort of
This
fits
speech
together.
is taking
Right.
forever.
Is this like via the beige book, or
The
just?
Beige Book, thank you for mentioning the Beige Book, and I hope you read it.
I love the beige book.
See, that's great. Everyone should read the Beige Book. The Beige Book comes out sort of mid-FOMC cycle, and it's all the 12 reserve banks and all of their incredible context, what they're saying about what's going on in the economy. So if you want to know, you can look at the national data, but if you want to know what's going on in regions and in different industries, you look at the Beige Book. So it's really a critical thing.
I need
And
the Beige Book,
actually, the reserve bank system that we
summary
have
from,
is an enormous
Grok.
strength of the Federal Reserve System. We have these 12 reserve banks with their own, economics departments and own participants. So that's a great thing to look at.
I'd like
All
to
right,
ask
SPY
you
should
about
be
another
breaking down
body of
here.
work
Is
that
the meeting start?
many of us know that you're familiar with, and that's the Grateful Dead.
I kind of
So,
see SPY breaking down here.
question
soon.
for you, sir. American Beauty or Terrapin Station?
American Beauty.
Well, it's not even a
Not even
pause.
close.
That
Ask
was
me a
so
hard one.
fast.
Working
No,
Man's
that's my
Asking
era.
him
That's my
for-
era.
Working Man's Dead
Yes.
or Europe 72?
Oh, both. Yeah,
Well,
that's
come
my
on.
era. We're in the same era here. So that's
just about ready
for
to
me,
cut
it's
this stream off,
late
guys.
60s to mid 70s.
This, at least
you're-
J
Touch of
Powell,
Grey,
I
what do you
mean.
think?
What do you guys think?
It was their only hit, but it's a good song.
Okay.
Yeah.
Finally,
Are we going to do this?
I feel like you're speaking another language.
there's a well-known Grateful Dead bootlegger who, with I believe the permission of the band, Dick's Picks, who's put out. So, what's your recommendation of those hundreds of?
I don't have any Dick's Picks. Like I said, my real interest was
Dick's Picks?
late 60s
What
to
are they
mid
saying?
70s. And I saw them a bunch of times, and I know every note on every song from that era.
Dick
But since
Picks.
then, I've been busy, actually.
Well, we thank you for taking time out of your schedule to join us here, and we appreciate your work.
Thank you very much. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Jim.
Finally. Oh my God. That was torture. All right. Let's see if SPY is breaking down already or what. It looks like it's pumping initially here. Let's see. Guys, that went way past my time. I'm probably going to cut the stream in, I don't know, 20 minutes. Any questions, guys? Any questions on the server, on the app, anything related to the markets? Especially if you're brand new, please don't be afraid to reach out anytime. And I'll be happy to help you guys out. One of the main things we do here, guys, nobody supports members like we do. Anytime that you feel like you're struggling like heavily in the markets, and maybe you feel like you want to quit trading, maybe you feel like you're not interested in the markets as much because you keep losing consistently. The goal for XTrades is for you guys to become consistently lasting in the markets. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're just going to be winning every single trade, right? It's just not realistic. That's not the way the market works. If you think that you're going to win every single trade, the market will humble you pretty quickly. And sometimes it takes a few blown accounts to get familiar with that. Unfortunately, we all at some point probably learned the hard way. Wow, Tesla broke down. Let me see. Google is just chopping up here. I'm kind of really not interested in swinging this 155 call, to be honest. Would be really risky. Karma, great question. So I've only been trading for like 6 years. I wish, like when I see, that's why when I see like traders that are like 18 or like 21, I'm like, oh my God, man, you guys have so much to learn. And like the fact that you're starting now, like you guys could literally be millionaires by the time you're 30 or, so if you could just get a grasp of it, the younger, the better. It took me a little later in life to, start to understand charts a bit, and a lot of what I've learned is here from XTrades. Honestly, most of the things that I've learned are here from XTrades. So I tried to be humble about it, and keep everybody with an open mind that you can become successful in the markets. It just takes some work on your end, and I'm telling you, if you're just following trades blindly, you're not going to last in the market, guys. That's not how it works. You need to at least try your best, even if you follow trades, right? And we have the ability for you to be able to follow trades. Oh my God, and just do that, and really like blindly. You can do it blindly, believe me. You can try. However, the goal for you should be to be able to try to understand the trade, why it's being opened, why it's being closed, why we're taking a stop loss here, why we're taking profits here. Why don't we just leave, why don't we just let this trade open and, just hope that it'll go up next week? There's, you start to understand little routines over time, little tiny things that start to come into play with every single one of your trades. And once you start to build those good habits, that's when you can, you feel yourself kind of improving. And that's why we give you the capability for you to be able to post your own trades and kind of improve as a trader with us. I've seen a lot of traders that were just like regular brand new members maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and now they're either part of the staff or they have just been successful, and they have either posted a testimonial in our testimonial chat, or they're consistently posting in the gains channel, you know, and a lot of it is thankfully a lot of it is, you know, they're just like thankful for the learning that they've had with XTrades. So a lot of the resources, guys, we aim to be the only resource that you need. Like we don't want you to have to go like hopping from Discord to Discord to Discord and like looking for the best trades, quote unquote, right? But yeah, you have um, a lot of resources here. We have the news feed, we got the options flow, we have amazing stock traders as well. It's not just options, guys. I know our most popular channel is the options channel, and we do have a main stock chat, even though it's been pretty dead lately. A couple of our top stock traders, they've been, you know, they've had some, I guess, some personal issues, I should say, recently, and so they haven't been too active. But the stock trading here is actually probably more, not actually, it is more of a higher success rate versus options. Options, you are more likely to lose, guys. It's just the reality of the stock market. You're more likely to lose with options, but there are ways for you to take a little bit less risk when it comes to options. So very basic stuff. Time is your friend with options, right? The less time you have on a trade, meaning something that expires today, is going to be a lot less risky versus something that expires in a month or 2 or 3 months or 6 months, whatever. Right? There's a lot of little ways to do it, and of course, some of that is maybe, you know, old news for you if you have the experience, but really that's for the newer traders. You know, and again, anybody brand new, I'll be happy to DM and we can speak about it one-on-one. I've helped I don't know, man, hundreds of traders over the last couple of years, and I really take pride in it. So if you guys feel like you're struggling, you guys can always feel free to DM me. I'll be happy to kind of show you guys around. Again, we do this stream every single Friday, and the goal and the purpose, JPAL took a lot of damn time. But really the goal for us is to show you guys where you should be looking on the server, where you should be learning from the app, and how to use the app to your advantage. We went over it earlier. And this is automatically being streamed to YouTube, so you'll be able to rewatch this. I mean, this was a long one, so I don't expect anybody to rewatch this whole thing. But I do have a live stream recording if you're interested in that, especially if you're brand new. I would highly recommend it. You can rewatch that one, and it's kind of filled with like the chapters. Here, I'll just pull it up real quick. YouTube links, maximizing your XTrades experience. Thanks, Karma. Thanks for showing up, man. Appreciate you. Let me see if I can pull this up. I'm pretty laggy right now. I don't know what the hell's going on. But yeah, basically, if anybody's interested in a live stream recording, pretty good one that I had a couple months ago, but still everything kind of applies. You know, how to use the app properly, how to follow trades properly, how to bookmark trades, how to search through the app, how to search with Discord, right? How to take advantage of the search function on Discord, right? A lot of little things that can make your life easier versus you just popping into the main chats and asking thoughts on Apple, right? Like this, a lot of times this will actually get ignored because all you have to do is search and you can see results on a lot of this stuff, right? Like Crazy A, he talks a lot as well. He's a big, you know, one of our top traders on the server, but you can search specifically from him, for example. Maybe you know, he talks probably the most out of all of our analysts. So maybe you missed something from him specifically. You don't want to have to scroll up through everything that he said, but you know, I could search right everything that he has said specifically about Apple. Just an example, right? Just an example. He talks a lot about Tesla from Crazy A, right? Just an example. So there's a lot of little things that you could do, and I have a video that talks about all that crap. I don't know why it's going so damn slow. Let me see what else. Oh man, SPY was at 570 when we did this. That's crazy. But yeah, I have it in chapters. You know, you could, whatever interests you here, how to use the alerts, what the app is about, how to use this, how to go through the SPY plan, the item store, right? We took a SPY live trade on this time, right? Live ongoing analysis, crypto traders, right? If you're into crypto, we have a crypto side, fully dedicated server, dedicated to crypto only. How to set up push notifications directly to your phone. You could follow traders now on the app. Actually, when you follow the trader themselves, like Buzzo, for example, I'll go to his profile real quick. Oh my God, bro, I'm so laggy right now. All right, so now when I go to any trader's profile, you can now actually get push notifications directly to your phone, guys, on a trader specific, every one of their trades. If you want, you could say be notified, click this little button, and now I will get push notifications directly to my phone. Right, that's another cool little feature they added, and honestly, this app is being developed constantly, every single day, guys, every single day. Yeah, Karma, I do like leverage ETFs. I mean, we just took TSLL today. Hey, did you miss that trade? That was a banger. It was really fast though. TSLL, I like trading. I like trading BABX, which is Baba's 2x leverage ETF. I really like that. I'm actually looking into that one to go long. But I haven't checked Baba yet. But yeah, just an idea. Oh, here we go. SPY's breaking down. Let me check it out. Google, I think I'm gonna have to close this, guys. I don't think I want to swing this, honestly. It would be really risky to swing those 150. Anybody that got in those 155 calls, and you got a better entry than me, honestly, you know, you'd be like a $10 loss per contract or something like that. So you guys can feel free to cut this trade if you want. Honestly, I don't really like it. It was supposed to be intraday moving, and we were up maybe 15% at one point, but I pretty much back to down 10% just about. And I didn't raise my stop to break even, so because I had pretty high risk tolerance for this trade. So I'm gonna raise my stop loss there to 170. I'll do that on the app. If it breaks down, it breaks down. I'll take the loss, small loss, no big deal. But yeah, guys, I want to make sure you guys fill out the survey. If you haven't had time to do it, please take the time. Our survey closes tomorrow evening, so if you could take us 2 minutes for the community. Let me get one more message out to everybody. Get your votes in. Right, this is huge for the server and the app. You know, for our community, we go heavily based on our survey results. Kind of shows who's doing, you know, who's helping out, who's helping out others, who's helping you make some money, and you know, helping you learn things, etc., etc. Wow, sell-off coming. All right, let me set my stop loss here on the app. Google, we're barely down on this one. But yeah, I don't like it really anymore. I said 148.40, was it? 146.40 I think was my hard stop loss, but I don't want to swing this over the weekend. Way too risky, especially now after J Powell basically said uncertainty like 12,000 times. I don't really feel comfortable swinging a short-term long trade. It would be very risky. So just going to set my stop here at 170. If it touches that, I mean, we're pretty much there. So you guys can feel free to cut this trade. Small loss, small loss. No big deal. All right, so again, it's part of the game, guys. But all right, guys. 007, you still in the building, man? I'm cooked, just like J Powell said.
It's cut.
I can't believe they asked him that, bro.
Yeah, it's over, man.
We're getting that breakdown. Let me see SPY, bro. Yep, I said I'll take a short right around this level. So if we get any kind of pump here, that would be shortable to me. The volume on these, oh my god, 510 puts. I wouldn't be shocked if we test 510 again. Karma, that's a good question. London lows. I've seen some traders use that. Maybe 007 has some insight on that one. I personally don't look at it or use it at all, honestly. But some traders that do futures, I've seen mention London. Yeah, oh yeah, Yaba is another one that used the London lows or highs for the day. It's basically the London trade. You know, they trade a different session. So sometimes traders use those levels. Same thing with the BOJ, like China levels for futures. Sometimes those are used as kind of potential support resistance levels. No, they still trade ES futures, but they'll use those levels to help them support their bias either way, whether it's to the long side or short side. But that's a good question. If you ask that, Karma, in the questions channel, that would be perfect. And then I could tag other traders and they can kind of, see how others use it. I highly recommend, guys, use that questions channel to your advantage. We have a lot of really good contributors here, man.
I would say that's pretty much a waste of time, to be honest with you. A lot of people people when they trade and they don't know what they're doing, they just like to find anything that works, and they just kind of I think we all been there, right, Chris? That
yes, for sure.
we just cling onto anything that's trending and that it may work for a little bit, and it's almost like Fibonacci levels. It'll work for a little bit. It'll give you a range, because it's just numbers. There's always going to be a range, but for me, I think there's nothing better than moving averages. Like you can see in today's chart, it hit the moving averages pretty well. Like you have the 200-day moving average, the 50-day moving average. Those are pretty core, and as long as you stick to those, you almost can't lose.
Right. Yeah. Try to keep it simple. You know what I mean? It's hard to get that routine down. It takes, like I said, you won't get, you won't learn this or change your own style and stuff like that. It doesn't take a few weeks or months. Sometimes it takes a long time to really get your routine down, like what works for you. You might not like what somebody else does. For me personally, I've kind of mixed a lot of different little strategies over a period of time. And honestly, I could say it probably took me like 2 years to actually feel comfortable with what I feel like is my kind of style of trading. I don't really zero DTE or day trade unless I'm really looking at the charts like that. If I'm not looking at the charts, there's no way I'm zero DTE, trading. If I'm not staring at the charts, I have to look at it. I can't just set alerts and leave it alone, unless I have a long-term swing trade that I'm I know my levels and I know my plan.
Yeah.
I have a feeling we're gonna test 510 again. We're losing that level. If anybody would have taken a short at 514 40 area, like I said earlier, you should be banking right now. If we kind of pump here and retest 514.50 area, I'll probably enter another short.
I've been short since 516, Chris.
You're a monster, bro. Nah, I
I'm
honestly
just really there.
I opened a short earlier when J-Pal kept saying that he was uncertain at 12. Wait, what is this? Let me look for my trade when I entered this. I entered this actually at 11:30. I took a little bit of a high risk there, but I didn't want
That's
to alert
good.
it because he was speaking at the time. But I took a shot on this candle right here, and maybe I was down like 5-10% at one point. But the IV is so juiced that
Yeah.
I was pretty much like flat this whole speech. It was pretty flat, and now I'm up 60%.
Nice.
I have 5-10 puts. But I would not mind a retest of this 14. I'll probably add size here and average up.
I'm just extremely bearish, Chris. Like I think we're gonna see this 80% crash.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, look, I honestly I was super bearish. I told myself once VIX goes above, if you guys search like me, like if, let me search it up here. Sometimes I don't follow my own advice, which sucks. I hate it. But VIX from Chris G. I go back to my post. I tell myself all the time, I'm not a full bull until VIX is below 20 again. Not convinced yet. Right there, I probably should have taken puts.
Yup.
VIX looks bullish. I said last week. VIX breaking above 21. Let me see. Where did I say? VIX hovering around 20. I look at VIX a lot, and it's pretty simple. VIX is above 20. It's pretty bearish for the market. Let me see. Where did I say?
Yo, one thing I want to know is what kind of pomegranate juice that Mondific sells, and how much is it per bottle? And like, I want to know how much is it per bottle after the tariff. That's all I want to know. Like, did you go from $4 a bottle to $9 a bottle? Like, what's the situation there? Give us the answer, man.
Raise your prices. Tracking's paused. That's a weird one. How are we looking? SPY breaking down new lows. Well, not new lows, but another breakdown here. So sick, bro. We lost about 35 points in 2 days so far.
That's a crash, man. People aren't accepting reality yet. Like it's barely just hitting people.
Yeah, man. I actually added to my 401k at SPY 550, and I thought it was a good dip buy when we went to 580. I was like, yes, looking like a damn genius, baby. Looking like a genius. Let's go. Bought the bottom. And then we got clapped. Like I bought it right here, bro. Literally on the like right at the that day. I was like, oh man, this is a good opportunity. And when we came up here to 575, I was like, oh yes, that was a perfect buy. And now look, shit, man.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I might have to reassess. So far,
Add again.
Karma, we are down. I think I did this earlier, but we are down 16% from all-time highs, which is definitely in correction mode. almost bear market territory. Bear market territory would be. Oops. Somebody did that math the other day. What's bear market territory? Bear market territory would be SPY at about 489. Oh yeah, I did this earlier. 489 SPY. That would be bear market. So you're gonna see, you know, the end is near. Post probably soon.
Yeah, I will say the other thing too, man, is that like I can see how truly bad the economy is because I have like heard about 2 people dying within the last 7 days just because things are so bad and like they don't
Suicide?
even know bad yet. Yeah,
Oh my
like
god.
they don't even know bad yet, dude. Like it's just getting started, you know. But people already can't go on with their lives because they're so overextended with debt and everything now.
Holy shit, man. That's so scary.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked.
That's scary. Um, let's see. This is this got this going. Yeah, VIX looks pretty freaking bullish. This is disgusting. Like VIX looks like it can make that COVID run, man. COVID run. Here we go. I did this. I think the other day on the weekly. Uh, if you look at the weekly on VIX, honestly, I didn't expect this to go to 40 though, because when I did this last time, it was at 28 or something, and now it's at 40. Crazy. Yeah, you know, Karma, what's funny, I actually, on my 401k, I do remember selling, well, moving a lot of stuff to cash around December, like mid December. Um, and then the market continued to rally. I was like, damn. And then now we are where we are. I mean, so I'm not in horrible shape. It's not like I, you know, this dip wasn't that. I mean, it's not that horrible from 550 at least. From here to here, we're down 7%. So it's not that horrifying for me personally, but you know, again, this is I remember us having a live stream 007 talking about like, oh man, all these new traders are hopping in the market, and this is exactly what happens. New traders come into the market because the market is super hot. Everything is freaking pumping hard as hell. Everything is up 15-20%. All you see is green candles all over the place. And and it brings the new traders in, and then they just totally just get wrecked. Hey, what should I buy now? What should I buy now? What should I buy now? And then you know,
Yeah,
now it's just there a bunch of bag holders now again. A bunch of new bag holders are here.
yeah, no, you're right. You even warn people too. You literally warn them because you were like,
Yes.
I've been through that.
Yep. Exactly. Yep.
And,
Been through it.
and I remember we were talking about it. I was like, the new bag holding piece of shit stock is gonna be all those quantum computing stocks that people are buying at all time high, and
Damn,
it
you're
will
right.
never go back again.
Oof. Yeah, bro, you're right. You're right about that one. Yep. What's RGTI looking like? I just curious now. Actually, I think I have a quantum watch list. Let me see.
Oh, it went up 100% from this morning on my puts.
What? Oh, I was about to say the stock itself 100%. What?
No, I
RGTI.
bought RGTI puts like
Wow.
yesterday,
Oh
and
man.
this morning it dropped like more.
Wow. Yep. They're all down easily 7-10%. This is the ETF too. The
It's
ETF peaked.
overvalued as fuck, like RGTI.
Yeah. Damn. Chipotle's losing levels, man. My burritos, baby. No. I guess I'm not going to Chipotle today.
Like the next thing I know, when bottom is in, when people are gonna call and be like, "Should I sell?"
Yes, yeah, that's true. Yep. Is your port down at all? Yeah, so of course the long-term port is down some here, of course. Yeah, for sure. Not gonna lie, of course. But there's ways to hedge, you know what I mean? There's ways to do things to protect your long-term holds, you know what I mean? If you have 100 shares of any stock, any long-term stock that you're holding, there's ways to protect that capital. You could take calendar spreads, you could take puts. Obviously puts would be more risky, but you could sell options as well, right? You could sell calls when you see the stock is hot and you're up like 40% on some specific stock where it had a few good days. You could sell calls and protect yourself to the downside. Um, so there's a lot of little ways that you could protect your capital. Besides just taking puts and like hoping that it's going to go down or something like that. But again, we have a lot of little video lessons. If you're not familiar already, guys, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube. The YouTube channel has so many freaking videos. It's actually pretty overwhelming, but anything specific that you're interested in, we can guide you to anything specific. So make sure you subscribe, guys, to the YouTube. Yeah, UVIX. I do like UVIX. I like trading UVIX to the upside whenever the market is super extended. I'm usually taking UVIX calls. It's been a while actually since I did that. Since they did a reverse split, I haven't done that actually.
I took some SVIX.
SVIX, okay.
I bought some puts on them the other day. I did a spread on it. I thought it was gonna go from $20.18. It's at like 13 right now. It's like 13.50.
Wow.
I didn't see that coming. I didn't see like the huge spike in VIX coming.
Yeah. Yep. Here's the little pump here. This is probably shortable here on SPY. Let's see. I'm gonna check the options chain now. This could be another liquidity hunt. Oh my god, bro. Puts are so expensive again. Let's see. Wow. Is it just me or the 510? There's no 509, 508, or 5. Like, why does Robinhood skip the 5? Like, hold on. Is this just me on Robinhood? Hold on. I've never seen this before. I'm about to send a screenshot.
It just goes to show you, Chris, that like nobody forecast the drop coming. Like they just it's just unprecedented. They just didn't
Right. Yeah.
they couldn't sell the options. The options dealer couldn't sell it. They just weren't ready.
Definitely seems that way. Trump is posting false social media report on Berkshire.